I said, well, I said, see how these people do. They're not all.
You can put that over there.
Was he out? I'll be your first.
I'm sure it is.
Yes, just one.
This is how it is.
Yeah, like if they are maintaining field, beaver rays or some hose sticking out of the con. Sad, they don't maintain it. I think it's their utilities. Because it won't be just their kids playing on it. And everyone else will also play on it too. They're the ones that are contracted to maintain. So it's similar contracts like the county with that. The property's out. And then collects all the money, but he's responsible for maintaining it. Also liability regarding what goes on there.
Yeah.
But he also, in this one, we're gonna have to allow other people besides him that they can. If they can, they'll do it.
Yeah.
Sure, but the school's still gonna have to maintain it.
Alicia, are we good? Or
I'm ready.
you're ready? Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. We're so glad to see you all here. This is a regular meeting of the Grantsville City Council. For the record, today's date is July 15th, 2026, and the time is 7 p.m. This meeting is being held at the Grantsville City Council chambers located at 429 East Main Street, Grantsville, Utah, as well as electronically by Zoom. I am Mayor Heidi Hammond, and I will conduct a roll call. Councilmember Butler.
Here.
Dalton.
Here.
Skinner.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Thank you. If everyone would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first agenda item tonight is public comment. The floor is open to the public to bring their concerns to the council for items not listed on the agenda.
No one else? Okay. Let's go. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Thank you for your time tonight. My name is Jim McGregor. I serve as IT director at a company called Olive & Cocoa located in Salt Lake City. We are a luxury gift retailer. I'll be honest with you, I don't personally live in Grantsville. My home is in West Haven, and I've traveled the distance here tonight because this issue matters enough to make the trip. I hope that tells you something about how important it is. I'm here on behalf of a Grantsville resident and one of my valued employees, Miss Wendy McCrory, who lives at 233 West Vegas Street, which is about 2 miles north of here. Wendy has called that home for 5.5 years since February 2021. She serves as our customer service lead at Olive & Cocoa. And like a growing number of your citizens, she works from home. In fact, Miss Wendy McCrory could not be here herself tonight because she's working right now on shift from her home on Vegas Street. So that's why I'm here to speak with you. Her livelihood depends on the one thing the city has the power to influence, a stable internet connection. Right now, the homes on Vegas Street can only get fixed wireless service. It works for most of the time, but isn't immune to weather, and when conditions are bad, the connection can falter. Even an occasional outage matters when your job depends on being online. It's a customer left waiting, work disrupted, and a resident who feels left behind by infrastructure everyone else takes for granted. And here's what makes it hard to accept. I have another employee who lives right here in Grantsville, a block over on Race Street. and their home has quantum fiber service today. Same city, same company, two neighbors just streets apart. And one has a reliable connection while the other has to settle for less. That's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. And it comes down to nothing more than the street which you happen to live on. I'm asking you to close that gap by advocating on Wendy's behalf and on behalf of every household on Vegas Street, urging quantum fiber to extend service to their homes. Let me offer a few reasons why this falls squarely within your responsibility. First, reliable internet is no longer a luxury. It's essential infrastructure, as fundamental as roads, water, and power. You wouldn't accept a street where the pavement washes out every time it rains. Broadband deserves the same standard. Second, this is about economic vitality. Remote work keeps residents earning, spending, and staying in Grantsville. Every home you connect becomes a home where someone can build a career without leaving the community. Fiber raises property values, attracts new families, strengthens your tax base. This is an investment in Grantsville's future, not a favor to one street. Now, let me tell you why I believe so strongly. I've lived in West Haven for 23 years, and for much of that time, our internet was a monopoly controlled by Xfinity. One provider, no competition, and residents paid the price. Then in the summer of 2023, we got Utopia Fiber. Better service at a lower cost, and it didn't happen by accident. It happened because one city council member had the vision to see what was possible and the will to fight for it. That single effort has improved the lives of every citizen in West Haven. I've lived it and I know what it's worth. That's why I'm asking one of you to become for Grantsville, the person who sees the future and champions it, because a private company weighs where to build based on demand and local support. A letter, a resolution, a phone call from this council carries weight that an individual resident simply cannot match. You have a voice here that we do not. I'm not asking the city to build the network or foot the bill. I'm asking you to be the champion your citizens need to press quantum fiber, to signal that Grantsville wants this investment, to stand up for the residents of Vegas Street. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. I stated earlier, just for items not listed on the agenda, but we do not have any public hearing items tonight. So any items that you would like to discuss with the council, this is your opportunity.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Averett. I live at 589 East Clark Street. And so I was here to specifically talk about agenda item number 13, which is the Falcons Crest subdivision that's under consideration right now. I had sent a letter and email out to each of you just addressing our concerns as neighbors that are adjacent to that property right now. We'd come and talk to the planning commission here last week and address some concerns there. I think there were some things that were kind of brought up after the public comment section, and we didn't have an opportunity to kind of rebut those or to discuss those. And so I wanted to take that opportunity tonight. We're we recognize that there will be development. We recognize that people are moving to Grantsville. We're not, against that or trying to stop that from happening, right? We recognize it's going to happen, but we would like to mitigate the impacts of that to existing neighbors who have been here for a long time. And so we just had seen some issues with this with current city code. There was an agreement or a development agreement that had been put in place previously, and that one had side setbacks on the yards. I think the code mentioned that it was 7.5 feet and 15 on each side. This development proposes 7.5 feet on each side, and that does not comply with current city code. It was mentioned at the meeting that they were essentially grandfathered in. Since this development, it states in the current development agreement, let's see. It says, whereas the project subject to an approved preliminary plat that is being voided and replaced in this agreement. So that should not indicate a grandfathered exception to current code. So this development currently states that it's going to be 7.5 foot setbacks on each side of each lot. in the lots 1 through 5 and 23 through 27. That doesn't comply. That's gonna have we're already gonna have a pretty big impact to our view to the north of that, right? We've got a very nice unobstructed view, and we recognize that there is, again, gonna be some development there. We're trying to mitigate that a little bit. And having 15 feet between houses there, and these are gonna be, it's assumed pretty tall, just because of the small lot sizes there. They're gonna have to go up. And so we're trying to mitigate that a little bit. We talked about a little bit about a privacy fence. And then the other issue that we'd kind of noticed was code calls out a 10,000 square foot minimum lot size, at least in the RM7 side, on the south side of that. And there is a corner lot there for the corner lots. There is a corner lot there that doesn't meet that. Lot number 6 specifically does not meet that requirement. It's a 9,000 square foot lot. So we're just asking that current code be honored and looked at for this kind of a development. It's already going to have a big impact on us. We are just trying to mitigate that as much as possible. And we feel like if there's exceptions to what's already in place, that's just going to make it worse for us. It's going to be a more difficult transition into that. And this is going to be a big transition from what's there existing to what's proposed now. You're going to go to very small lots. We're on anywhere from acre, half acre down to, I think there's a 1/3 acre lot there now. And so we're going down to 7,000 square foot lots behind us and tall houses. So we just ask that you kind of consider that. And we're just asking that the city code be honored with this kind of a development, and we make sure that so that we can mitigate the impacts that we have. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Wayne Boyer. I'm here with get the information on this new subdivision, which is known as the Falcons. And my concern is I have livestock there, and this I received, and it shows me that the retention center over here on the end of, I believe it's 30, I can't read it, it's 30 feet wide that goes from point 1 to point 10, and it's marked as a retaining. My concern is what these lots are up here is the fencing going, how's the fencing going to be involved there? I have livestock there, got problems already with things happening. I'm concerned now why and what happens to these lots. They've changed them down to this here, which I found out finally, I have a new one that you've changed all the zoning in 99 apparently. That they changed. I asked for this a while, never received it, know nothing about when it changed. The A10s and RM7s now no longer in existence. Is this correct?
Say that again.
I understand RM7's no longer available, can't be used.
No, it's still in existence.
Shelby, do you have something?
The RM7 still exists, it just cannot be rezoned to RM7.
So nobody can rezone that. Is that correct? Now with these others, what about the retention center? How is that gonna affect me with my property? Goes from point 1, like I say, across, as you well can see, maybe you don't have it. There's stem lots, they've changed them down to 7,000 square feet. Does that, what about the retention center? Where does the water get to there, or where does that, is that part of their backyard for play? So the kids can go back there from their original lot number here? Is that attached to that? These lots are sitting here and then you got the retainers all the way across there. Against my fence line. I'm concerned about my livestock, whether they can. If it's been there for 100 years, owned it, now they're coming in and I just need to know, where's the water going in, coming in, where's it going out? I know it's retaining there. What's the depth of the retaining that's going across that fence?
So Wayne, this isn't a conversation, it's a comment. So you're giving us comments, we're writing notes down, and when we get to that point in the meeting, then we can bring up those comments that you made.
Well, they said that I had
Can't
made
really-
comments now.
We can't
Yes.
answer.
No, I know, I'll be here. You can recall.
Good, we got
But
notes.
I just need to know a few things it's not quite right, in my opinion.
We will definitely address those. Thank you. Any other comments? Anybody online, Alicia? If you are online and would like to make a comment, please raise your hand
Using Zoom.
using Zoom.
Yes. Caitlin?
What is the name?
Caitlin Coggle?
Caitlin Cottle?
Coggle?
Caitlin Coggle, if you'd like to make a comment, you're welcome to.
Hi, I apologize. I logged in under my son's account. My name is Brittany Coggle. I just wanted to make a comment about the proposed, where'd it go? No, I was like 7. Oh my gosh, now I can't even. Okay, so it's about Exhibit A for the license plate recognition data sharing program, the memorandum for understanding, so item section 6. I just want to give my comment on these types of programs. They have been known to be very unreliable, very scary AI programs. In fact, I have some statistics here. These cameras make out of every 1 out of every 10 cars are scanned and recorded incorrectly. And that makes the risk of our innocent citizens being arrested, searched, detained, and held at gunpoint for no viable reason. And then in the agreement that was posted online, it states that the operator, the organizer of the camera, even that are not held reliable, and then its solely liability is passed down to the agency party, which would be Grantsville City. And then because Utah Code 63G-7-101, the Governmental Immunity Act is in place. That means that no innocent citizen can be compensated for time imprisonment and cost effects of these cameras misidentifying their vehicles. But there is a caveat on this. The only person who actually can be sued is our police officers. There are many cases out there where citizens are winning millions of dollars that the city's police officers have to pay because they didn't do their due diligence and correctly identify the information of this person's vehicle or the information from the that they received for the crime that was a part of all of that. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware that these cameras are more dangerous than they will be helpful. It's also extremely costly. The subscription alone for one of these monitoring facilities that would monitor all this data received is $30,000 a year. And then putting all of the risk onto our police officers, I don't think that's wise. We're not big enough of a city to utilize these cameras, and for the safety of our citizens, for our privacy rights, that these cameras would go against. I just highly suggest you guys do not approve these cameras in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your comment. We appreciate it. Anybody else online?
No.
Okay, we will close the public comment agenda item and move on to agenda item number 2, summary action items. The first one is approval of minutes from the June 17th, 2026 City Council regular meeting. Does anybody on the council have any questions or comments or concerns about the minutes from our previous meeting? Go ahead, Jeff.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve the minutes from our June 17, 2026 City Council regular meeting.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Councilmember Skinner. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next item is approval of bills. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the bills as they were presented? If not, can I get a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion, we move to approve the bills as presented to us.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Butler. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item number 3 is a presentation of the Grantsville City Youth Council Scholarship Awards, and that will be presented by Jolene Jenkins.
All right, Mayor Hammond, City Council, it's good to be with you today. And I would like to have Alyssa McCauley come up and Gwen Tappan. And I have to say, I have loved working with the Grantsville City Youth Council for the past, I think it's been 4 years. But one of the things that I don't like about it, I'm just gonna put in a complaint right now, is that these darn youth graduate and leave. But they go on and do amazing things. And we have these 2 girls who just graduated from Grantsville High School. And we wanted to honor them and give them our appreciation and present them with scholarships through the Grantsville City Youth Council. And so first of all, Alyssa, she served with our youth council for the past year, and she was amazing at being a liaison, like with all different groups and bringing in all these wonderful ideas. She was working on a podcast that hopefully we'll be able to continue and work on, and just so many great ideas that she brought. Both of these girls they've been insanely involved in so many different groups. I know you had theater and youth court and dance, right? Ballroom dance. What else? Oh yeah, and Miss Grantsville. I forgot about just that little thing. But before I present it, Alyssa, do you want to say one thing that you've gained from working on the Grantsville Youth Council?
Sure thing. All right, on the spot. Yippee, let's go. I think one thing I gained from working on the Grantsville City Youth Council was the ability to connect more with my community, because not only was I connecting with them through my work as Miss Grantsville, obviously, it exposed me to more opportunities like the cemetery cleanup and our various meetings with multiple members of our community, us getting to interview the mayoral candidates, for example. It gave me a lot of opportunities to connect and really see the amazing community that I live in. So,
Awesome.
Great.
Like, if any of you are put on the spot like that, would you have a speech like that? That's amazing. So we would like to present Alyssa McCauley with a $400 scholarship from Grantsville City. So congratulations. All right. Gwen, okay, I gotta tell you about Gwen. So Gwen has served on our youth council for 3 years. And this past year, she served as our youth mayor. And the hardest thing with Gwen is trying to keep up with her because she's like, we're gonna change the world, and she impacted Grantsville City with the things that she did. She was the one who decided this past year that our theme should be empowering youth voices. And she really strived to do that, to make sure that the youth in our community had a voice and to make sure that you guys know what that voice is and what their concerns were. So Gwendolyn, same thing for you. If you'd like to give us something that you gained from working on the youth council.
Let's see. Yeah, for the last 3 years, I didn't think I was gonna go into the youth council, but the previous mayor actually invited me in, and I got in unofficially, unfortunately, but that's okay. I've learned a lot from my community, and I've learned a lot from myself. I've learned really how, like, personally, I like smiles. I like it when I go and help up front instead of behind the scenes. And so whenever I see like a children smile or, you know, I think we did the clean up Main Street, right?
Yeah.
That was the previous mayor's activity that we chose to continue this year, and I really liked that one. One thing that really stood out, I think it was this year's team. I really liked it. I mean, yeah, we had to extend the members from, what was it, 7 to 15?
10, I think it was 12 to 15.
12 to 15. And there was a lot of involvement there. There was constant people just coming up and, you know, sharing their ideas. We did a think tank, which was really fun. We invited, who did we invite?
All of Twill County.
All of Tooele County. That was including Rad Pack. Did we try and involve Youth Court?
I don't know.
I think we tried, but that was really fun. So just seeing all the voices and seeing just really the amount of impact we can create with just a little group like us, hoping that we can continue later on. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we would like to present Gwen with a $600 scholarship from Grantsville City.
Come on up, girls. Let's get a picture.
You'll be here in 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe sooner. They do ask that at youth council, like, what's the age to run for? So,
Future leaders.
what is the age?
What is the age?
18, so next round, girls.
I might actually.
Be fantastic.
Thank you. It's really been a pleasure to work with them. They're amazing. So thank you so much for all of your contributions to our community. And thank you, Jolene, for your effort and involvement in our youth council, and also Councilmember Thomas. Thank you so much for keeping that wonderful program going. Agenda item number 4 is a presentation of gift presented by Aspen Clegg, the finance director.
All right. We kept it vague because the gift is for Mayor Hammond and Shelby. So
I was like, what is this?
I was
I
like, we
have
have
no
to keep
idea
it
what
vague.
we're
I don't want to
doing.
give it away. But as you guys may recall, I think just the last council meeting, Shelby went out of her way to have presented thank you and like certificates for all of the help that you guys received for the Grantsville City Rodeo. Well, I was also having a thank you made for you two. But in typical fashion, they didn't arrive until the week after, of course. But I do have belt buckles for both of you that are personalized thank yous for your work that you guys put in for the rodeo. So your guys' enthusiasm and dedication to getting a project done is inspiring. So we just wanted to say thank you guys and present you with these belt
Well,
buckles.
thank you
So-
very much. The rodeo was lots of fun and I can't wait for next year. So thank you. Well, the full rodeo next year. In October, we do have Battle of the Bronx that has been approved and we are excited about that. So we'll be hosting that October 10th. So put that on your calendars. So excited. And thank you again. Thanks for all those who made that whole thing possible. It was definitely a group effort. Our next item is item number 5, introduction of newly appointed officer Taryn Bowen and administration of the oath of office presented by Chief Sager.
Mayor and council, thank you for an opportunity to meet a new officer. We had an officer, Tom Sanford, retire. And so Officer Bowen was in the works and it was quickly noticed that he was the top candidate and he came and started working July 1st. He comes with 7 years of experience, a lot of quality experience working for a larger agency where you got to experience a lot of things. But not only that, he has the right personality for Grantsville. And like I've told you before, that's what I look for. It has to be the combo because our city is unique. And I just invite Taryn up here. He's got his lovely family here. And the youngster, I think, still passed out on the floor down there. So it's awesome. Taryn, just want to introduce yourself.
So I'm Taryn Bowen. I come with 7 years of experience coming from West Valley City. I've been on patrol the entire time, so I've pretty much seen all you can think of. I'm excited to be here. The community is amazing already. Just the difference between what I've experienced and what I have, it's been truly honoring to be here. And I'm excited to see what Grantsville City has and how I can help better the community.
Without further ado, we'll have him from the oath of office. If you raise your right hand and just face the council and the mayor and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I, Taryn Bowen, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of this state.
And the Constitution of this state.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And I will discharge my duties of my office with fidelity.
Thank you, sir. Law enforcement has to involve family, so his wife is gonna pin his badge on us.
Go for it now. No. Get good pictures.
All right, there's refreshments and drinks. Take your family, show them where you're gonna be working. I think it's important when you tell us stories, help them process and understand. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you and welcome, and thank you to your family as well. We appreciate your service to our community. Thank you so much.
I'll try to make it over in a minute. I've got a couple things on the agenda.
All right, agenda item number 6, consideration of resolution 2026-34, approving a memorandum of understanding for automatic license plate recognition data sharing, presented by Chief Sager.
Well, first I'll go to Ms. Coggle. give some history on this. This process, we have 10 cameras here in the city. We started planning in 2021, 2022. That planning, when Chief Enslin retired, turned over to me for implementation. We implemented those cameras in 2023, and they've been active, and we've been using them since without any issues. And why we have, why we curve those issues is training. Annual training. Any officer that has access is required to have training. That training requires verification, as mentioned. Yes, there is data entered into the system through multiple agencies, which is this hot list, which we're discussing tonight with Department of Public Safety. They verify that information, they put it in. And when they're hot list, stolen vehicles, missing, endangered people, people that may be in that vehicle, this is all investigative information that is put in by an officer or one of their respective helpers. But anyway, and the 63G comment, that I thought that was important because that's the Government Records Management Act. And so the data we collect is only retained in our system for 30 days and it's automatically purged and we don't have it. And if a citizen comes and requests that data, they're not able to do it. It's protected information. And that's what that 63G means. We do not release the information. It's not grammar requestable, which that means. And if Tyson has anything on that, but that's how I interpret that. I don't know, did she have any other notes that I may be able to answer that I maybe missed?
One thing she said is 1 in 10 are misinformation provided.
And then the cost.
And the cost, yes. So the 1 in 10, I can't speak for the stats on that. We have not, I am unaware of any incident where we've had the wrong plate or the wrong vehicle. What it does do is give us time, like if we have a hot vehicle coming in, we can actually strategically plan to stop that vehicle in the safest spot and have the resources there. But I don't know the data on that, and I haven't experienced that. So and the cost, yes, it's $32,500 for 10 cameras, and that's annually. So that's split up in our 10 areas, and they're set up in strategic locations. It's like having in ingress and degress areas of the city, which allows us to have 10 points of ingress and egress in the city that alert officers where officers aren't going to be all the time for these vehicles or these suspects that are maybe in these vehicles. And then the cost on that is just an annual subscription. So. The AI active. So these cameras can get very sophisticated. They can zoom in. There's no AI active on this. This is basically a plate, and then you can actually use it. If you say we had a case today where we had a substantial amount of fraud, tens of thousands of dollars. We had a vehicle description and we identified that vehicle using the system. So we can use a system like that as well. So yeah, the AI there's no facial recognition. It's plates. You can upgrade, but
We don't have the upgrade.
we don't have the upgrade.
We have the base.
Through our, we have the base.
Subscription.
So,
Sorry, go ahead, Brittany.
Sorry, does the reader give any information that a regular officer couldn't get if he pulled in the information in his?
no, we have access. Like if a vehicle passes, we put the plate information in, we get CGIS access. We actually probably get more information than flock. The only reason it would hit is if it is on a hot list. Like in a hot list means stolen vehicle, wanted person, missing, endangered, things like that. Amber alert, if there's a plate attached, it comes through, it hits and lets us know, hey, that plate's right here right now, that we can mobilize resources.
What's your
But-
protocol then, when you get a hot thing?
The officer will respond, look for the vehicle, verify. If it's verified, then we make the plan. So.
Can you give me just a few examples of instances where this has been helpful, crimes that were solved that wouldn't have been without the camera?
There was one in March.
Yeah, there's,
That triple homicide in southern Utah was tracked through.
well, statewide, this can be used for,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the capabilities, right? We can track, we know this is it and it's entered into a system for a reason, not just random searching. Any case anytime you go in and you search for something, you have to have a case associated with that. So and we know who searches because it tracks it, and we know the case number and why. Just like the sensitive information we deal with every day, we have access to criminal histories, driver's licenses, all your, if we have a reason to, we have access to that. If we don't have a reason, we're not gonna be looking for it. We don't have time for that, so.
So one of her concerns was misidentifying citizens and potential liability from the police officers for detaining them and putting them in jail. And I mean, talk to us a little bit about the protocol behind all that and how you verify and double check and make sure that the individual, would come up with the plate and who the individual actually is, that there's a protocol in place to verify that, where you're not just gonna pull someone over, handcuff them and go throw them in jail, right?
No. So it kind of goes back to what Ms. Skinner says is we have more information on another side too. We get the information through the alert through dispatch, whatnot, and they let the officer know. They respond. If they locate, they can use their other tools to help verify. Or if they know enough information because we've been working that case, they have the knowledge to verify it without our system as well. So and anytime we take somebody into custody, that we have to identify, if they won't identify themselves, and we have a reason to book them into jail anyway, we're gonna book them in as Jane Doe, John Doe. But that's not just because of this hit, right? We have to have something else. So we'd do an investigation, but we'd have to have a reasonable suspicion, works into probable cause to make an arrest to book into jail. And so it all just goes up that tier and then from there. So it would be an investigative detention based off reasonable suspicion, and then if we have probable cause, we can make an arrest.
So, and I want to clarify, we're not talking about we already have the flock cameras. What we're talking about here is getting access to DPS's database.
Yeah, so
essentially, so we can share with their database.
Yeah, this MOU is just something to add to our knowledge or our information, our data. So, but I knew the questions would come up otherwise, and that's why I give a history. We've been using this a long time, over 3 years. Tooele City, Tooele County, I think they switched LPR systems or manufacturers, but there's a lot through the state. I think related to this MOU with DPS right now, there's 75 agencies that have signed on and 4 that are pending. So.
Could you address for us, how does this make Grantsville safer?
In
your professional opinion.
Well, flock safety and both the MOU, right?
Yeah.
So let's just do both. If we have an active criminal investigation, we can utilize technology to either make our officers, if we have a known suspect, we can use the technology to make a safer arrest. We know when they're coming, we know where they're leaving. We don't need to go to their house, if they have a felony warrant or something. We know when they're gone, we can stop them on the road and make it safer for our officers. It helps in the investigation side, specifically with like drug investigations, trafficking investigations. If we have protective order or domestic violence where we have a suspect that is not known and they've fled the scene, we know what vehicle they are in. We know they're coming back to Grantsville or wherever we put that victim for protection. So we can help maybe curb any further violence before they may get to that person. Or if someone says, hey, I'm coming to harm you. Okay, we know they're coming possibly in this vehicle. If they come into our city, they already said they're going to go harm this person. We're going to stop them before they go harm the person or intervene, right? But that kind of stuff, the technology gives us an advantage in time and strategic planning. And it helps us make the officer's job safer.
I had a citizen this week say there were multiple cities getting rid of this service. Can you speak to that? Is that, I don't know. I don't know the details or the statistics on that.
There has been a movement for LPRs. There's this side of it where some cities are getting rid of them. Some people choose, council and the governing board choose to, and others are keeping them. It's kind of depends on what way the city wants to go with it. It is a very valuable tool, but it can. Personally, I'm gonna give you two sides of it, okay? Personally, and this is me. I'm not afraid of it personally. As professionally, I am, because I have to safeguard the citizens and the information. So that is where, yeah, I have to be afraid of that, and I have to make sure we're doing it right. So I have two sides of it, right? I see what it does, and now personally, I'm like, I'm not too worried about it. But can this go down another road? Yeah, if it's not guarded, you don't have people saying, yeah, this has to be within our policy and procedures, training, then if you don't follow those, yeah, it could be used poorly. But I'd also point out, there is our policy and procedures online for the plate readers. If you go under the police tab, under policy, our whole policy manual is there. And that is specifically pulled out so it's easy to access in one click.
So all agencies that use this have procedures and trainings that they do, but you see stories that, license plate was red, it looked like an A, but it was a B. So their own car got pulled over. The person did get detained. Also, a police officer used it to track down an ex-wife. They had policies and procedures in place. I'm not so worried about our policies and procedures as much as the data that Flock is gathering from these cameras. And that's why I think cities are going away from is the invasion of privacy that Flock potentially brings. That's a lot of concern that I have. What do we have with Flock that prevents that, or do they have their own contract or agreement with us that they can take the information and do as they see with it?
So our automated ALPR provider is Flock. There are many ALPR providers, so I don't want to tie Flock into all the problem. That's our provider, but there are other ones. So I'll be careful on using a specific company name for the issues. But for our officers, just like our criminal justice information, our BCI information, we monitor it. We have a TAC, which looks at what we run monthly. And if you run somebody's wife, or you run somebody you know, and you don't do it for a law enforcement reason, is a Class B misdemeanor and is a policy violation that we take very seriously. It goes in internal investigation, and then it would also go to post. Same here, if you use law enforcement data or law enforcement sensitive information to stalk or spy or look on somebody, an officer does that, it's a policy violation, and they should be referred to post, and they will be held accountable through policy and administrative investigation. That's not tolerated.
But Flock cameras are giving, like we said, it's the same information they could get. They're not giving anything more. It's not
No.
like, hey,
Yeah, they're retaining the data, the information for 30 days. It wipes off. It's not going anywhere. It wipes off. It's gone. We can't, our policy, and we leave it that way, 30 days is in there and then that's gone. And that's more restrictive than state law. State law is, I think, more like 9 months. We have 30 days. So if we need it within that 30 days, if we do have a case like today, we extract that data, put it on a different device and book it into evidence. So that is stored into evidence that is even more restricted. So I think, did I touch on all those points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chief, my question is kind of along that same line as I was trying to understand this. It says an agency that chooses to limit the information fields to be shared with agency parties is responsible for the technical steps necessary to ensure that selected information is not available for data exchange. So it seemed to put it on our shoulders to limit the information provided. So are we limiting
No.
information, or what are we doing?
Okay, so this is back to the MOU with DPS. We requested access to their hot list, which they manage, they monitor, and they purge, retain, or purge and keep up to date. We want to know if their hot list is coming into our city, if they're stolen vehicles, if they're missings and stuff like that. Now, with that, if they don't want us to know because it's a sensitive case, they can partition that out, just like we can partition our police reports from other agencies. So no one can look at them but us. So if we don't want our data shared, we can partition it out.
Okay.
We don't have to share it. So there's different levels of security as well.
Okay.
So that's where I think that one's going.
But according to this MOU, are we withholding back any of that information? Or are we just letting it all be available?
If we
to them?
choose.
If we choose.
Yeah, if we choose to withhold that specific piece of information, we can hold it back. So,
So that would be on a case by case basis, like if
Yeah.
you decide to, what this is saying is you could do that.
yeah.
I just know, for me, my client's kids were kidnapped and it was a license plate reader that caught him and got him. They found him in Mexico, and when the FBI got involved, that's how they got him, was the license plate reader. Without that, the FBI wouldn't have known. So I understand everybody's concern, but I also understand. And one thing they talked about was, the police liability, but police have liability every day and everything they do. Like that's not anything specific to the block camera. They have they have, liability to post to the, so I'm not saying they're definitely not immune from that liability. So I just don't think the flock cameras gives them any more. I mean, it sounds like there's more because they have verification training that they have to do to use that flock camera. They can't just rely on that flock system generally.
No, it's more information. The more information we have, the better we do our job, but we can't just, we have to verify everything. It's steps. It's steps to get to where we're going. And this helps us, technology helps, so. And if Ms. Cogle's still on, I would invite her. She can come and have a discussion with me as well at the police department, so.
So this request is basically connecting us for hot list information into other agencies.
Into the Department of Public Safety.
So
Yeah.
it's state agency.
The state agency.
State agency,
So
yes.
interagencies, highway patrol, I-80 tie-ins, all
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah, well, anything that goes into DPS, that is able to be put on their hot list for their procedures or standards, we would have access to unless they partition and make a case sensitive.
So Chief, in your professional opinion, having that versus not having that, what's the difference or why the request, why the request?
Well, I see it as I have 10 extra eyes all the time with the staffing issue. I have 2 officers on most of the time, especially at night. And if I can cover the perimeter of our city and know if somebody's coming in that may be nefarious to our citizens or harm somebody, and I can direct resources and we have a little bit more time to react and set up a plan, that's worth it to me. Especially if we can verify and we can verify the information and make it safer for not only the suspect, but anybody else involved and the officer. So we've used it. We know we get hits out here on Main Street, right before, or right after the meat plant there. We know they're coming westbound. We'll stage right here. We know the road's wider. If we think they're gonna run, we can throw spike strips before. So if they decide to just run, they're gonna run them over. We can catch them later. We don't have to pursue them. We don't pursue anyway unless it's a violent felony. But we can have our resources staged in the widest point of the city or the road, and that just, things like that, we use it and it helps. So. Yeah, this MOU, we have the flock system. This MOU is expanding our data sharing or being able to look at the data from DPS hot list that they manage. But we need to verify is what they're saying, verify the information. And then that's where the liability comes on the officer. If they don't verify it and they continue down the road after they even, you gotta verify. And if you make a mistake, you go up there and you make a mistake and you gotta leave. But we haven't had that happen.
Is there any extra charge for this
No.
information?
No, it's all wrapped into the system that we already paid for.
Anybody have any additional questions for the chief? Any discussion that anyone would like to have with the council? Express your opinions. Rhett, what do you think?
I mean, I think I side with the chief, with just with utilizing technology. And I understand the fear. We got multiple emails and citizens reaching out to us. But the fact of the matter is, we're already utilizing this technology. And this just, enhances their ability to get information in real time and to make plans. And so I think it makes our city safer. I don't like Big Brother looking on me either, but we live in a day and age where that just is hard to avoid. So
Okay,
anyways.
thank you. Jake, what do you think?
I struggle with this one, honestly. Anytime we're talking about, and I know we're not talking privacy because it's public places. However, COVID hasn't really taught us anything. It should have taught us something, right? So I really struggle with anytime we're, entering an area that could be a violation of, citizens' abilities to, but I think the biggest part of it to me is completely understanding the MOU and how the data is moved. I think I'm not prepared to vote on this tonight, my opinion. I would like to have, some more time to be able to get a clear understanding of how that information moves and where it moves and how we control it and what our procedures are to control it. I know this is a product that has helped. I mentioned that, that triple homicide that happened, was a theft of a vehicle, and the guy just shot the two hikers for the vehicle. They tracked him through this license plate recognition program, and he was traveling from Utah, I think, to Colorado, or anyway. So is there a benefit? Yeah. Is there a safety benefit? Absolutely. Anytime we hedge into, that's important for me. I think to be able to vote on this would be knowing, how that data is moved and what programs we have in place. I appreciate hearing that, we have a 30-day. I know on the MOU, it says that there's a 24-hour period for those hot lists and they're dropped. And I think that's
There is an NCIC as well, which is a national database where everything is verified before it gets put in. And then that is part of it as well.
I do think it's important to know what's happening around us and being connected in that process. If we have we already have the cameras in place, it'd be kind of like we're blind to what's happening around us. And I don't think that's safe for our citizens as well either. So, but I don't know, my feel is this one maybe needs a really good review of the MOU and understanding of, at least for me. So that's where I'm at.
Thanks, Jake. Garrett?
I'm all for giving our police officers tools to help their job, be more productive and safer. And nothing against you, chief, or your department, but I am 100% against Flock and what they do. So whether we vote for it tonight or in a week, I will be a no vote. I would like to get rid of the Flock cameras altogether in our city and everywhere. So my opinion.
Brittany?
I mean, I've kind of already said mine. I mean, I think it's a tool that, we expect officers to have cameras on them when we request it. We want it. We want those tools available. These are tools that are available to them to help keep us safe. I mean, I think it's, especially when they're running two at night. So if one guy's tied up, you've got somebody else to know somebody else is coming in the city. I think it's a tool, and it's the same information they can run on their computer. So it would just be, if they're not getting any more information, they're just knowing when somebody enters the city. So I mean, I know we're not voting on the slot cameras. The DPS, from my understanding, is just giving us a bigger database. And so the more, obviously if somebody's coming down I-80, we have highway, we have people going to other states. I mean, yeah. I would vote yes.
Thanks, Brittany. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I hear what everybody's saying and feel the same thoughts. I might tend to agree with what Rhett said. I tend to support the chief and, like we talked about all through budgeting, how short-staffed we are. So if it gives us additional 10 eyes and additional security, then I think it's a good thing. So.
Chief, do you have anything else?
Protection of
Oh, go ahead.
information is a huge concern, personal information, and every level of our lives right now, and that's a worry.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I think, I don't think I answered Derek's question. Who manages it? Our lieutenant, our investigation lieutenant is the one who audits and reports to me. If there's, and he's also over our internal investigations. And so, and he provides all the access and the trainings and all that. So we do have internal controls as well, so. And then you mentioned I-80. We would only get information if they hit on our 10 cameras coming in, not the state.
So what information are we getting from DPS then? Only if the hot list comes into our.
Hits our cameras, it will say, hey, Grantsville, you have a stolen vehicle that's on our hot list.
But
It's
that would
right
be
here.
on their hot list, right?
Yep.
So we're wanting to know their hot list.
Yeah.
It's not, because we have our own hot list, I'm assuming
Yeah.
we can put on. So this would be
Yeah.
notifying us somebody that's on DP. Otherwise,
Yes.
without this, we wouldn't have access.
We'd have less
Would-
data.
Would
Yeah.
it hit if somebody from,
No, their
Yeah.
hot list wouldn't be shared with us.
yeah, so this
So-
is just giving us access to their.
More visibility.
So years ago, and to make it home, we had a shooter come here in Grantsville to our laundromat.
Yeah.
Would that have helped, prevented that?
If they had information that they could put into the system that was verified for their hot list of policies and procedures, and they put it in there, yes. And if we had one and they knew that information and it came in on Main Street, just like where we had it, and it said, hey, plate's here, this guy's wanted for homicide, yeah, we would know. Just like your example, the triple homicide, that's how it worked.
The NCIC would be on this list too, if somebody's.
And we get that anyway if we run it, like you say.
But the license plate readers will pick that up.
Yep.
All right, I think we've had some really good discussion and thank you, Chief, for all your information and of course for all that your department does for our city and keeping us all safe. Is there anybody that would like to make a motion?
I will make a motion. I vote that we approve resolution 2026-34, approving a memorandum of understanding for the automatic license plate recognition data sharing as presented by the chief.
We have a motion by Councilmember Skinner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilmember Butler. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Butler,
Aye.
Abstain.
abstained.
Nay.
Dalton?
Nay.
Skinner?
Aye.
Williams?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you.
Councilman Thomas, if you want to come and we can go over this and help you better understand it as well, just so it's not sitting out there. And we can invite DPS for a phone call as well if you'd like.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your staff. Chief, thank you.
All right, agenda item number 7, consideration of resolution 2026-56, approving the Utah ICAC Task Force Memorandum of Understanding and accepting the fiscal year 2027 ICAC grant award.
So this is ICAC Utah. This is what Detective Bassett and Zero kind of specialize in, child sex exploitation. And anyway, we are affiliates with ICAC and have been for many years. And they provide an award, which is monetary, it's $10,000 for their affiliated agencies. And we use these funds for equipment, software lease, which is a data extraction tool for when we see cell phones, et cetera, that we have trained detectives to use. And that's about $8,800 a year. So it helps pay for that. And then just some training and some other equipment after that. But with ICAC, we're actually sending our new detective, Beatty, to their boot camp academy. So he will be able to help with these cases and learn how to run them as well. So. I think this is, most of you here last year, it's pretty much the same agreement.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2026-56, approving the Utah ICAC Task Force Memorandum of Understanding and accepting the fiscal year 2027 ICAC grant award.
We have a motion by Councilmember Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Councilmember Skinner. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Chief. Agenda item number 8, a discussion regarding potential grant matching funds for the Grantsville Historic Preservation Committee. And I believe this will be presented by Alta, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your last name.
Calcaño.
That.
Think of lasagna, Saint Sam at the end.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. So nice to finally meet you. I
Yes,
only
thank
seen
you.
on videos or photos and council members. As the chair, my name is Alta Calcaño, and as the chair of the Grantsville Historic Preservation Commission, I am here tonight to request your approval to apply for a certified local government CLG grant that would help us take the next important step in preserving and promoting Grantsville historic character. Since its formation, the Historic Preservation Commission has worked diligently to increase awareness and appreciation of our community historic resources. Our first major project was the creation and publication of this booklet, and I hope that all of you have a copy in your home. If you don't, please take one from Silver. And we were able to do that by applying for a CLG grant, which we have the matching grant, the funds that we use to restore the Donner Green Museum. So these booklets highlight many of the historic buildings that make our city unique. As you can see, the cover of this booklet, this is not the first time this home has been presented or published. This is the residence that is on the corner of Hale and Main Street. I want to present to you this book that was published by the state of Utah that also has that home published. So it is pretty unique, pretty awesome, and we definitely want to protect it. We have also successfully organized historic home tours, which I have provided a flyer. We are seeking for residents that own historic homes to sign up for this year's tour, which has become a very popular community event. This year will mark our 3rd annual tour featuring additional historic homes and providing residents and visitors with a greater appreciation of Grantsville's heritage. In addition, the commission has assisted homeowners on some years to applying for this grant, which will support preservation and repair projects for their historic properties. While these efforts have been great and valuable, we believe there is an opportunity to do more. At our monthly meeting last week, we met with Chris Hansen and Corey Jensen from the Utah State Historic Preservation Office to discuss the potential creation of Grantsville's first historic district. They advised us that the first step is to complete a reconnaissance level survey of buildings within the proposed district boundary. On the screen, you see our first attempt, our first draft of the boundary that we were thinking about. This survey will update the state historic resource database, which have not been updated since 1987, and will help determine whether there is sufficient concentration of historic resources to establish a viable historic district. The estimated cost of the survey is approximately $25,000. Based on roughly about 1,200 buildings within the proposed study area. We were informed that this project is eligible for funding through the CLG grant program. The grant will provide up to $15,000 in funding and require a matching contribution from the city. This application deadline is this month on the 31st. We just found that out last week. And like I said before, we use a grant to do this, and we use matching funds from the city on a project that the city was already doing. So I am bringing this to your attention and hoping that maybe we already are doing a project on the city that could qualify as the matching grant instead of coming with the $15,000 new fund. Tonight, we are requesting your approval to proceed with submitting the CLG grant application for this project. The proposed study area generally includes property located between Carl Street and West Street and between Main Street and Clark Street. And some boundary has been extended up in the north of the image that you see. Establishing a historic district could provide significant long-term benefits to Grantsville. I have provided a copy of some common benefits that other cities and towns have received by having a historic district that you can review at your time when you can. But I'm going to mention that increased heritage tourism and visitor spending, enhancing marketing in the community branding opportunities, as well as eligibility for federal historic preservation tax credits up to 20% on qualifying rehabilitation projects, providing financial assistance to owners of historic properties, greater neighborhood pride and community engagement, additional investment and revitalization of historic areas. A historic district is not simply about preserving old buildings. It is a strategic investment in Grantsville's future, one that can protect our heritage, strengthen our community, encourages investment, and enhances community pride. We believe this grant opportunity is an important step in evaluating whether a historic district is right for Grantsville, and we respectfully ask for your support in allowing us to submit this application. Thank you for your time and consideration, but I also have Bill Coveby here to share with you some of his experience of why this is a great move.
Also known as Bill Kobabe. It's okay. I know you get your last name butchered just as much as me, so we're good. So if you look on the screen here, you'll see homes or dots that are on homes that are already kind of identified in the State Historic Preservation Office as homes or buildings that are of significant historical interest. Some of them are already listed on the National Register of Historic Places, but not all of them. But the purpose for doing a historic district is so that we can qualify for additional resources for homeowners that are in historic buildings or homes that can help keep them up. It's an expensive proposition to keep these places up. For example, switching out windows, you would think you just call Anderson or one of these places and have them come bring you windows. It's not that at all. Rhett's smiling over there. He knows. It's a labor of love, and it's a constant effort to keep these buildings up. So having a little bit of additional resources through some grant money or other things, having a district makes that available to you and for you. So this is important. And again, as Alta points out, and I should say, I don't know how many of you know Alta or are familiar with her background. She is an architect and designer and has an immense passion and love for Grantsville City. Her master's thesis when she was getting her degree was about Grantsville and a proposal that she had put together for Main Street. And it's absolutely wonderful. So the interest and the passion is there. And I hope that that's obvious in what she has said, but also in the efforts that she's making to make Grantsville stay unique and interesting. The way to do that is through this kind of effort. And so we know that the budget is tight. We know that there are considerations that need to be brought to bear, but the ask is, we feel like a pretty small ask in the grand scheme of things to help us get these things going. So that's where we're at, I think. Is that helpful?
Yeah, wonderful.
Anything else you need? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Alta or Bill?
I don't have any questions, maybe more of a comment. I'm actually glad this item has been brought in front of the group. This year we had some brick falling off of one of our historic buildings, and that individual, I tried to connect with them to see what we could do to find grants or whatever to preserve it in what it should be, and those individuals are forced to have to do that on their own accord. And so this avenue is I think it's a great idea, great move in the right direction. So it's my opinion.
I do have a question. She said there may be already a project going that could count for these funds. Do we have anything that would count for these, or would this be a separate 15,000 that we need to allocate? Anybody? Maybe ask me.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't think we have a specific line item for this kind of thing, but to Alta's point, I think everything that we put into this, including the time that the Historic Preservation Commission spends discussing these kinds of things and pursuing grants and establishing the district and all of those things, that all of that counts towards the match. So you put a dollar value to the hours that are spent on those things, that's part of the match. So it's not necessarily a strict, we want 12 grand, they're gonna ask for 12 grand kind of a thing. It's more of a, what are you doing that's helping us out in this regard? So there's some offset there. It wouldn't necessarily have to be the full dollar figure. There's in-kind contributions that count as well.
So we just have to allocate this. So we
Correct.
can-
This would be a budget amendment that would have to come later when we adopt the final budget and include that.
But it doesn't necessarily mean we're spend it, right? If we can.
Well, if we don't get the
No,
grant,
if we don't
then
get it,
no.
Yeah,
we don't-
the
Exactly.
direction is, would you like us to apply for the grant?
Yeah,
And we'd be
right.
back to have you make that budget amendment.
This one.
It's just applying. It's not a guarantee that we'll get it. We're hoping that we will get it.
We're probably pretty likely, I felt like,
Yeah,
in our
surveys-
conversations with the SHPO, I thought.
Yeah, surveys for this kind of effort are very liked by the state. It's something that they love to
These kinds of
grant for.
projects are
These are
huge.
the kind of projects that they like to see happening.
So what qualifies a home or a building for this? Are there certain requirements that gotta meet year?
If they're about as old as you, Derek, then they qualify as, no, it is interesting. What did you say, 40 years?
No, 50 years. It has to be 50 years
So I would
old.
qualify.
And not necessarily, you have to have historic significance.
Oh, shoot. Well, I don't
You
qualify
have
then.
to have somebody important from Grantsville that live there or build it. It could be the architecture of it is important for the history. It's significant for the history of Grantsville. Maybe it was a style that was built in an era and it was repeated and it shows the heritage of Grantsville. So things like that. Or it was a unique building, but it hosted important events for the city.
If I could give you a little example, there's a historic district, and I brought this up to the commission. There's a historic district in Orem where I grew up that's called the Castile Historic District. And there are these cute little salt box homes that were built in the 40s that were for the people who came to work at the steel plant at Geneva Steel. And they're all pretty boring and they're all not super unique. And you wouldn't look at them and think anything other than, well, this is just a boring old neighborhood. But then when you start peeling back the layers and you learn about the history of these buildings, each individual building may be not super cool, but together they represent a part of the history of the city of Orem, which doesn't have a super great history. And it's awesome to be able to have those touchstones where you can go back to and draw from when you are making decisions about how do we want to proceed into the future? What is our city gonna look like going forward? How do we draw clues design-wise from cool old buildings that give Grantsville a character that's unique and interesting and informative for future decisions?
Well, it tells the story of who we are,
Exactly.
where we came from.
Exactly right.
So
Exactly.
I just had the opportunity to be a few days ago in Savannah, Georgia, stood
Oh.
in a home that had George Washington's, where he would entertain.
Yes.
And I'm like, if the walls could tell a story, you know, and so, and I'm glad that structure is still there in a much older part of the country. And we live in a much newer part of the country. So protecting what we have is, I think it's important. So.
But a lot of these homes in this area represent the early the earlier days in Grantsville.
Yeah.
And this is the area that, you know, the commission designated as the most likely area to have this historic district. And we've been working on this since the first part of the year, when our first meeting in January, and we feel pretty strongly that, you know, this is something that we'd like to support and do, so.
If I may add, you all know Hilda Anderson Erickson and how important she has been for our town. We have her monument right up front. Do you know where her house is? And is it protected? She's important to us. We should care for where she lived and be a place of remembrance.
I want to clarify one point too as well, that being in a historic district does not mean that you can't tear down the home if it's problematic. You can't do changes. You can't, all of these things. This just gives you an extra layer of federal recognition and protection, and again, qualifies you for those grants. So this is a worthwhile effort.
I think it's great. When I did the tour on Clark Farm, I learned, I mean, I didn't know half about Grantsville, but it was very informative. It's nice to have people that know and remember and can, especially since we're having new developments, and it's nice to keep this original.
Exactly. And how many of us know where our downtown was? And how many downtowns we had, locations? It was not in the same place. It would be great to preserve that and educate our community.
Yeah, this has my support. So whatever we're looking from a grant standing, I'll support.
This is just a discussion.
So yeah, this is a
It's not a-
discussion. However, I guess, do we just want to give them direction to go and apply for the grant, and then
We evaluate.
we evaluate after that is awarded?
I think
Because even if they apply for the grant and then the council says, I'm sorry, we just can't fund this, then
we don't get the grant.
we don't get the grant.
And this is
Yeah.
a yearly grant that we can apply for every year.
Mhm.
So if we find ourselves that we can't this year, then we can again do it again next year.
Next year, that's right.
But again, the sooner the better, so we can. lock
July
in this
31st
on.
is-
Exactly.
Is the day.
So I think the direction that the council is giving you is to proceed with the grant application, and then we will make decisions when that application has been submitted.
Thank
Does that
you.
seem acceptable to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 9, consideration of resolution 2026-53, approving a pilot service agreement with Kids Can for the Kids Can Yellow Can program. And that is going to be presented
Can I just
by.
interject just
Jessica
really quickly? What is the beeping sound?
Oh, that is the fire alarm for the library. It's going off. We're trying to figure
Okay,
out
that's-
why.
That's pretty loud.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's setting it off. There is not a fire, so there's no alarm there.
I did see the firemen run by, so
Yeah,
I knew what
push
it
the
was.
button.
I heard the truck come down.
They have
pull in.
pushed it and it is turned back on, so they're trying to turn it off. So
It's a lot louder probably outside the building.
It is.
All right.
So I
This
do
was-
apologize.
Okay.
Okay, Jessica, with that wonderful introduction, go ahead, please.
Well, it's nice to be here tonight and thanks for having us. So my name's Jessica White and I'm just here to kind of a quick recap on our program. We're working on starting a program called Kids Can that will benefit children in the community. We were seeking a pilot community, and we know the city of Grantsville is very supportive in making the city better, and it's a great community. So we asked the previous mayor if he'd be interested in this program. Right now, I serve as the president of a nonprofit in the Salt Lake area called the Ward Refugee Foundation. And I know how hard it is to start a nonprofit in communities, but I have seen a difference that it makes when cities and businesses and other are involved in helping the life of children and families. As I was talking to my husband and my family, we felt like this was something that Tooele County was missing. We don't have a lot of these programs that will help children in whether it's be in school, community, or outreach programs. We will focus on children that are underserved or have experienced some type of trauma. We are going to be able to help them feel loved and seen through this program. We are looking to help establish youth programs as well as individuals. Tonight, we are meeting to ask for the pilot service agreement to be approved, and we look forward to serving and helping the community. So here we are.
Does anybody have any questions for Jessica about the kids can?
Yes. What is it? It's a.
So it's a yellow can, garbage can service, and it's a year annual that they can pay $120 a year or $10 a month. That can be broken up into $10 a month. And it's just an idea that it's kind of a program that the biggest thing is people kind of forget about you. So it's natural advertisement through the yellow can. So people see what we are and then they donate to that. And the money we will buy the cans. And so it's no cost to the city, but the money that comes from that, we will put back into the community to serve children or kids in the area.
So define that a little more, Jessica, because it says that, so it's $120, completely voluntary, right?
Yep, completely voluntary. So we'll be marketing it. Yeah.
It says 1% comes back to the area and 15% comes for recreational improvements or maintenance is determined by the city.
Yeah. So
talk to me about the rest of the percentage.
And I apologize, my husband ended up having an emergency surgery. So the 1%, I think, if I remember right, you guys can help with this, I think was the cost. If it costs the city anything, then we'll help pay for some of that. The 15%, I know he's talked to Mayor Hammond about some of the parks and things that you wanted to see to help the children in the area, but we will be keeping it's just not 15%. We'll definitely be seeking out. We've talked to the Education Foundation and several other community support, and we're hoping to work with them and get money back into the community to help children throughout the Grantsville area.
Are you selecting specific kids to help? Or is
So,
it a general type thing?
Yeah, so it just depends. Like in Salt Lake, I work with city council members and mayors. I work with counselors in the school districts. I work with education foundations. I work with a big soccer program that gives away like 5 grants. So kind of will mimic the same thing, just whatever's in the community that we feel. It may even be arts and music for someone, a child that's gone through some trauma that will support a year of arts or music for them as a scholarship. There's many things that we have done and we plan on kind of mimicking that same thing in this community. And so it'll be a lot of community outreach, getting to know what's needed, meeting with, even principals at times. I've met with principals that will go through. Sometimes they ask me to help like 5 families for Christmas or something like that, or 5 children, that we can. One year we went in and there was 25 children that needed shoes. And so we went in and provided shoes for them. So it's a lot of different things. Sometimes we have talked to the Children's Justice Center. So there's a lot of needs in the community and we're just here to try to market them and hopefully bring that, people will support it and bring that back so that we can help with youth programs.
And how will somebody enroll? Let's say I want a yellow can. What's my step to do that?
So we just, we're working on all the final details now, but we'll have a website and an enrollment program that they'll just fill out their forms and their payment. And we'll take care of that side of things. So it's not any burden on the cities. And then we'll take care of the cancellation and all of that. But we need to work with the city just to make sure that the cans are getting out and that we will pick them up if they cancel their program, or their can.
And that's that administrative fee.
Yeah.
The administrative fee is taken out of that 1%, is that what you
That's
said?
the 1% administrative fee, and
Okay.
then we're also getting the 15% that they, out of the whole program for the city, we'll get 15% of that to go towards parks or whatever recreation the city council decides. And then anything, if they have another cause that they wanna, that we want to, we can go to them for any other extra or beyond that.
Like we'd love to work with your like a council member if they have ideas or you guys see something in the community. We'd love that. We hope it's supported and that's why it's a pilot program. We're gonna try and see if we can get something going so it can be a positive recognition in the community.
What other cities are you working with?
We have talked to several cities, but we really needed just to, I mean, I've talked to Draper, Riverton, we've talked to West Valley, South Salt Lake, because I work with that mayor a lot. We talked to Twila City, but we really just, we need to make sure we have a pilot program so we're ready to before we go and hopefully grow bigger. So that's kind of, we've worked with, back east, they do this a lot for breast cancer, and we've talked to cities back there that do it and how they pilot that, or how they started that program. And so we have talked to other cities that have had this program, but we don't have any currently in Utah that do.
So this is billed separately from the city. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna come through on my city bill.
Nope.
It'll be
Nope.
totally separate.
It's totally separate. Yeah.
What do we do with the old garbage can? We have the old gray one.
So we talked to Ace about that and they said, I mean, their idea was eventually they get broken and it saves you guys money because you don't have to keep putting money into buying new garbage cans if people are using ours. But they will recycle them. They said they usually get the city gets phone calls, but they come and pick them up if there's broken lids or broken wheels. And sometimes the city repairs them, sometimes they go into retirement and then they replace those. But then most of the times the city pays for those new cans. So, I mean, I guess they would just be stored here till the next person needs them. And with the growth, I'm sure you'll get new people using them, but
If I get 2 yellow cans, what do I do with my?
yeah, they'll come, yeah, and that was part of it is the city would come
takes
pick
it
them up.
back, Then we'll give it to a new homeowner that comes in and obviously clean it first. And then if they don't want the yellow can or pay the extra for it.
Yeah.
But it helps if everyone in the city does decide to do this, then the city won't have to buy those cans. And I think their last can purchase was like $90,000.
Yeah, and the cans are they hope to get 7 to 8 years, but that could, with the windstorms and things, lower the thing, but yeah.
65.
$65. So your initial investment is 50% of. what
Yeah,
the-
so we've already are working on getting all that. So it is a big investment for us to put into it, but that's our commitment is we are committed to try to make this work and help the community is really what we're trying to do. It's just a nonprofit to.
Your husband came and he presented to us last year, I believe it was last year.
Yep, it's been a while. We've been working on this, so.
My only other thought was, and this is just clearly for transparency, but even though it's a nonprofit, I'm sure you guys are allowed to keep a certain percentage to run the program.
Mhm.
I wish that was disclosed in here.
Yep, and so I've studied a lot of nonprofits because I agree with that. And it's really isn't disclosed, it's by state statute. And only 30% needs to go to the nonprofit. And we are a big believer in that you need to have, we're hoping 70%, but it just depends. If we can find, like right now, we're working with someone to hold our cans for, and that would be their donation. But if we have to pay rent, that is a cost. If we have to, I mean, we will have to have a few workers to maintain the cans and if we need help with anything and marketing them, but we are hoping that the majority of that will stay. Cause I agree with you. Like I'm the president of our foundation and I don't take any money. So I work full-time for free and for the Ward Foundation right now. And but there's several other foundations that they are paying their directors or presidents $100,000. And we don't believe in that. We believe that it needs to come right back to what we started it for. So, I mean, I can't give you a figure because we're not sure. Like I said, we're just getting this started, but our goal is that the majority will stay within helping and not serving someone else on our board. So.
And this is just a 1-year agreement, and then we can come back and revisit, see how it like it after that time.
I thought this
Doesn't
was
it say
5 in here?
Is it 5?
It does say
Oh, never
5
mind,
at
it's
the
5.
beginning because we needed some
did
time for
change
the,
that.
yeah. But we can, I'm happy to revisit anytime we need to.
But the agreement with citizens is just a yearly.
Yeah,
subscription.
it's just a yearly. And then they can either cancel at that time or it's just automatically renewed, kind of like any other, unless they choose to cancel.
I have just kind of an administrative type question as far as how our garbage is dumped now. So I have two of the black or gray cans, whatever you want to call that. And so it's billed with my city utility bill. So let's say, like Rhett said, I now have two yellow cans. How does that affect my city billing? Can somebody from the city explain that to me?
Doesn't change a thing. You still pay for the garbage. You just have a yellow can.
You still pay for ACE to
Right,
dump
so
your
I'm still,
garbage.
if I have two cans in my front yard, I'm still gonna be charged for two
Yeah.
cans, but they're just gonna be yellow.
But the other's the donation. And
So,
yeah, and we feel like the $12 a month, that's like giving up a coffee or a meal out. It's pretty reasonable for people. So that's what we're hoping is they'll pay that extra to help like benefit the community and the children in the community. And that's something we will be marketing, but yeah, it will not affect
so
your bill. I mean,
It's a donation.
it's a donation pretty much, yes.
pickup is all in favor and.
Yeah, we've met
on
with them
board with that,
2 or
with
3
it.
times and they just said it's really up to the cities. We contract through them. It will not interrupt our service. We'll still do the same thing. And so we'll pick up the yellow can, but we went to lunch with someone from ACE. I mean, we've been meeting with a lot of them, but just like 2 weeks ago, and she just said it won't interrupt what we do.
Okay.
So.
Since
I like it.
Since it's technically a donation, like we said, do at the end of the year, the citizens that apply for this get a tax write-off somehow?
Yeah, so
or-
we'll mail out, we'll mail out a form for for a donation. I'm trying to think of the form name, but yes, we will mail that out for a tax write-off to everyone that has signed up for the program.
I like it because it's a donation. People can choose to do it, but not to do it. And if they don't want to donate, they don't have to donate. But I think it's a way that we can help nonprofits. I've actually worked with the World Refugee Foundation. I have a friend that's on the board as well. So they've done a lot of
Great.
cool things for people.
Yeah, yep, it's been very
So-
successful, so.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, like, where's the money going? But I feel like it's keeps coming back to our community. So doing things in the community, I think I like it.
Jessica, could there be maybe in a year after, if this is approved, could you come in and do a report, maybe even in 6 months
Yeah.
as to where the funding is going and how it's helping our community and
Yeah, we'd love
just
that,
kind of
yeah.
give us an update?
Yeah, we want to be transparent and we need to be transparent for if we get grants or anything like that. And so we'd love to be as transparent as possible. We can say where the money was allocated, who we helped, who we're working with, or community partners. So we would love to be as transparent as possible with all of that.
I would love to like help too, if just to say, I think it's great. I think it's good to get back to community. So I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think it's
being
something we're missing out here. I see a lot of resources and a lot of programs offered in Salt Lake, and I feel bad that we don't have that out here that we can give back to those that need it most, because until you meet those basic needs of children, then, I mean, education and home life and everything's affected, so.
Jessica, do you live here in Grantsville?
I live in Stansbury.
Okay, I just mentioned out here, so.
Yeah, no,
confirming that
the
you-
county, we're hoping to get it countywide is our goal. Yeah.
Anybody have any thoughts or items of discussion they want to bring up to the council before we have a motion?
My only concern was the 5-year pilot program, if we can get that to.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, we got a lot of attorneys in the room here and almost on my hand, I can count all of them. But if we could add some sort of section in here that just states or revise this term and termination that, you know, we reserve the right in a year to be able to say, well, this probably isn't working out, or, you know, or just be able to renew it. I don't know if that's something we can do, but I mean, I understand that this is their.
Yeah, I think
this is
from
their
our
public.
standpoint is we're buying, it costs us a lot upfront to buy the cans, and we're buying a lot of cans and marketing, and it takes a long time. It's taken me 4 years to get the Ward Foundation to almost double in size. So it's taken us a long time, and I just think a year would be very difficult to have this where we want it. And there will be hiccups the first year a little bit, and that's why we're asking for your support and help. But I think it would be very difficult to make that kind of a donation on our part, just to have it taken away after a year. I understand if we've done something that you don't like, and I think there's clauses in that there for that, but we're investing a lot ourselves too. And so for a year to market it and get it going, I mean, if anyone's kind of worked in a business or startup, it's very
What's the
difficult.
lowest you think you'd be okay with right now?
The
Or what's
lowest
the top?
number. I would like to see at least 3, but I would be okay meeting each year and going through that, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, these terminations for cause, material breaches of this agreement and fails to cure within 30 days of written notice, becomes insolvent or ceases operation, or engages in conduct that poses a risk to public health, safety, or the city's reputation. That last one's pretty broad, but anyways.
I just like, what is our risk though? I mean, that's,
Yeah, I mean, it's a volunteer.
Well, and that's the thing is if it flops.
Yeah, it's kind of our money and our time, yeah.
I don't see really a liability on the city other than we're saying, yeah, you could do this. Unless it does cause problems, which obviously we would have a recourse.
Here's a potential issue. Okay, so I get 2 yellow cans and I give up my 2 gray cans. And they go away, and let's say that this becomes insolvent and I want my gray cans back. Well, guess what? I gotta buy 2 new gray cans, right? Christie? Oh, she left. Okay.
Answer would be yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would need to purchase those 2 gray
You would get
cans.
$65 as opposed to $120. Yes, that would be, I guess, on the people who sign up. They would have
Yeah.
to have that agreement to know in place, like,
Yeah.
okay,
They'd
I
have to
understand
know.
if I'm.
And we could put that in our policies
Yeah.
and procedures, so. Yeah, and that is something that, but then, yeah, I guess it saves you the 120 that you're paying, so.
Yeah, that's another thing I was wondering.
Why
Could
don't you
you
put it in your backyard so you got more trash in them?
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to put out 3 cans if you only have 2. Right?
I'm not saying put it out. I'm just.
Yes.
Cause we charge for that, or we get charged for that as a
Yes,
city and we pay that.
per can.
I'd be okay with 3 with like a yearly review. Come back every year, report how it's going, how many subscribers you have,
Okay,
where the money's kind of gone in the community, tell us some happy, successful stories about some of the kids, so.
yeah, I'd
So-
love that, yeah. That's what we're hoping for. So,
I think you're really hoping for a city to sign this agreement. with
yes.
you, And you take the lead on this so that you can tell
Yeah.
other cities that, hey, Grantsville City,
Yeah, it's been successful there. We've,
they've done this.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that is what we're hoping for, to show success and that it works and that we can move to other cities that could use this.
I'm just thinking from a staffing standpoint, we talk about no cost incurred by the city, trying to think of all of the scenarios. I'm assuming we'll get calls, hey, my neighbor has a yellow can, so we are gonna have some city. And
To
we're
be
gonna,
sure, you guys are delivering the cans to us and then we deliver the cans to the.
Yeah, so because you'll be picking up the can anyway, and that's what we talked about. But we do have volunteers and board members that have
Right now,
said
average,
like we could help.
12 can replacements a week anyway, for just like average usage, for like, my can's broken, my lid fell off
Right.
or whatever. And
I'm
so.
just trying to see what impact this has on the
Yeah,
city
so-
outside of what we've.
Like if it's successful, then we ultimately, if everyone starts buying yellow cans, then we won't have to pay that cost anymore for the city. That would be nice, because it's very expensive. Otherwise, we continue to buy the cans and continue to do our same program that we're gonna do. The other thing is, yeah, you're right, we're gonna get a lot of calls. We already filled that. And then the question is, do we have to then redirect them to your
Yeah, and I
group?
think they would have to
Probably
be
the
directed to
biggest
us, yeah.
Portion of that, and that's where we threw in an administrative fee plus the park fee to go along with that, to help cover those costs right there.
If the yellow can is broken, is that you then? They would call and say, hey, my yellow can's broken.
No, they'd call the city and they
Yeah.
would ask for more cans.
Yeah, but we'd have-
But they'll just drop off like. a
Yeah,
bunch
we'd
of
have
and
cans
then
or
we'll just
parts.
Take those and
Yeah.
replace those like we currently are
Like-
doing.
There's no further questions or comments. I need a motion.
I motion that we approve resolution 2026-53, approving a pilot service agreement with a 3-year agreement with review every year. As we discussed with Kids Can for the Kids Can Yellow Can program.
We have a motion by Councilmember Skinner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilmember Dalton. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All right, let's give this a go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We talk some more garbage.
Yeah.
It's the topic of the night.
That's right, more garbage. Agenda item number 10, a discussion regarding the ACE bulk waste pickup.
Yeah, I got this.
Who's this?
Oh, good. I was like.
No, we're wanted to have council's input on this because we have got a couple quotes on doing bulk pickup again and whether the council wants to do that. It ranges, you can either do 2 times a year, which ends up being close to like $12 to $15 per pickup, or we can do it, so that'd be twice a year.
Now, hold on, twice a year at a resident's home or like our
At a
pickup
resident-
day
as
that
a-
we do
at
now
a
with the
resident's
dumpsters?
home. No, it'd
Okay,
be at this is the bulk pickup we're talking about, where we're going back to the old way we used to do it in Grantsville, where you pick it up in front of your house.
You throw out an old couch and it sits there for 3 or 4 weeks and then finally gets picked up.
Correct. Well, hopefully not like that. Hopefully it's during their week that they have to be done and map it out and do all of that. There was interest in bringing this forward, so that's what we want to see what the council's desire was.
I got a lot of requests.
To do it.
So would this be on top of what we currently do?
Correct.
Which is in the spring?
Yes,
bring
so we
in
would
the
either
containers?
stop that because we wouldn't necessarily need to do that anymore. Or you could continue to do that and this as well, but this would be a pass-through cost to the residents, because it's, again, doing the whole city, depending on which route we take. If we do it every month, that ends up being more like a $3.50 to $5 cost per month per resident. So it ended up being more at the end of the year if you do it every month. So again, you're ranging from an additional $200,000 to like $400,000 for the cost of this program. And so that's the question, is it would be a direct pass through to the residents. So if you as a resident wanted to have the bulk pickup, it would either be all or nothing. You couldn't like opt in to 1 or 2 residents to do it. It's either we do it for the whole city or we don't do it at all.
So everybody gets charged?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Because we just increased all the fees and everything like that. That was kind of the question, is whether we wanted to implement this at all.
What do we pay each year to do the dumpsters twice a year? Anyone?
It's, she gave.
We had the numbers
she gave
and
us some
I don't
numbers. I want
remember.
to say it was like 8,000,
Yeah, I think it's
8 or 9,000, I believe is
Per-
what I'm going off of memory, which is
800 or something
dangerous.
per dumpster, and we rotate
But-
that through, yeah.
I'm trying to see the reason for a need for this specifically when we have a landfill, and if you have a trailer, you just throw a couch on a trailer and take it there.
That's the problem.
I do
The
have
ones that don't.
well, yeah, but is it the responsibility of every
Exactly.
citizen
Yeah,
to
that's
pay
what
for the
we-
ones that don't?
we
That's
pay-
the
I mean, we
question.
pay to
And I guess, do you
dump,
want us to put out a survey to the residents to get their?
I think
or
it's
do-
worth getting
or
a
do we
pulse
not even
on.
want to broach that?
Here's my problem. We just debated for 3 months on a 5% property tax increase that amounted to, on average, $1.27 a month. And here we are talking about adding another $3.50 to every resident in Grantsville so that we can have a bulk waste pickup. I mean, it's just another way to tax. I'll just say it straight up. And I get it. It does make our yards and our homes cleaner. But I just don't know if I can get behind it. That's just my thought. So
I
it
think
is
with-
just another way to tax, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And we had it's one thing to donate to a 501c3 and pay an extra $10 a month. or $120 a year, which is vastly more than the 5% that we were asking. So, but that's a voluntary donation. This is forced on everyone. And it's an additional tax above and beyond the things that we've already had to increase. And this is not necessarily something we have to do. So that's my thought.
I agree with Rhett. I think
That's his-
because it's all or nothing, then people can't opt out of it. And so if I do pay for the dump, then I'm paying for both.
I agree. I think what we currently do is fantastic. Like, I mean, I know it's only,
and it's well received.
I know it's only twice, well, is it twice?
Twice a year.
Twice a year,
Mhm.
which I
Spring,
actually think is, and there's a cost associated with that. And I know individuals take advantage of that for that opportunity. Does it mean they could have something in their yard longer or something that, I mean, we do want to keep Grantsville beautiful but I think that's an opportunity that we give the residents to allow for that. And I don't like the idea of making it something across the board and forcing the hand of someone
Also that, but
to be part of
like
something.
Chris
they
said
may
at
not
the
be part of.
beginning, there's gonna be couches sitting out for a month. I think that's why we got rid of it in the
I live
beginning,
on Willow Street.
was because of that.
There's couches sitting out on the sidewalk.
Since we got rid of the program
Those are
5
getting
years ago,
used,
they're
exactly.
still waiting.
Well, they think the program's still in use.
Oh.
So
They're just waiting for someone for 5 years.
You sure somebody's not sitting in that at the end of the day?
they're not. There's no way it's There we go.
No, that's perfect. No, I'm happy with that.
Perspective.
Staff wise, I mean,
Yeah, we just have
had a
been
lot of
asked to bring
requests,
it
and
back,
so we
so
thought
we
we'd
got her.
bring it to council and see what your thoughts
I
were.
think advertising when we do those two pickups, if they've got something specific for there, I think that's an opportunity to take advantage. I know people do. Maybe some more information on landfill costs. Landfill costs are significantly reduced. So for a vehicle, you can, household waste, you can take quite a bit. I don't see it.
Okay, there we have it. Agenda item number 11, consideration of resolution 2026-52, approving the Sunsage Terrace Master Development Agreement and Master Lot Layout for phases 3 through 6, located at approximately 1161 West Main Street in the R121 Residential District.
Please bear with me because my laptop is down and so now I'm just using my phone. This is a master development agreement for Sunsage Terrace, including the lot layouts for phases 3 through 6. In the lot layout, you'll see that a portion of phase 4 and 5 do have smaller lots than the R121 or the 21,780 square feet that is required. The reason why those lots are smaller, you can keep going, that's ways down there, is because we have asked for the dedication of the half width of Main Street, which is an arterial road of 108 feet, and the dedication of the collector on the west side, which is 90 feet. So here is your 90 foot. And they are dedicating the full width of the 90 foot and then the half width, which is right around like 54 feet of Main Street. You're gonna ask, well, why did Main Street shrink here? And then it's wider down here. In our master transportation plan, it didn't show Main Street as an arterial, but our current master transportation plan does, and it was just didn't continue that same width. So the rest of these roads are at 66 foot. All these lots down here meet, and then once we get about up here, we're at 20,000 square feet. There's shy of the 21,780. Do you know back anything is a pointer? Huh? Back or anything like that is a pointer. Yeah, but it doesn't work.
It's been what, maybe 3.5 months since you came and talked with us and proposed this, and I think we talked about it extensively. We didn't have the NDA in place, but we talked about the smaller lots and giving up that right of way so that we didn't in the future encroach on the land of the residents on Taylor Road to the west. And I think at the time, if I remember right, we all kind of agreed that we thought with the minimal amount of square footage that was lacking on the half-acre lots, and considering the efforts on the developers, I thought we gave him direction to proceed in this manner and to come back with us once we had an MD in place, so.
Correct.
That's what I recollect and remember with all this. And that was the variance that he requested.
Correct. Thank you, Rhett. This did come with a recommendation from Planning Commission. I believe this one was all three voted for approval or voted yes. Derek was there for that. And there was only three at the meeting.
Shelby, remind me what the road is at the far end of the subdivision, like the road that they're dedicating. What is that? Is that?
So that is a collector road on the west side, which will connect into Highlands Boulevard.
So we don't have a name for
Highlands Boulevard.
Highlands Boulevard. Okay.
But it really, in the master transportation plan, it's the road that connects Night Green all the way around the town, right?
No,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it
not
will connect into Night Green, but that's not the road.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Night
thought it
Green.
was the one that circled around and connected Night Green.
No,
This
Night
is,
Green will go out.
this is further east than where
Yes.
Night Green will be?
Yes.
Okay. But the roads that are there that would continue west, sorry, I don't know how exactly to describe that. They would be able to reach the Night Green collector road that would loop around. Potentially.
Potentially, depending on how everything built out, right? So you have Clark Street on the north side that is stubbed out. So if people on Taylor Road developed out, that could potentially continue. And then there was a Main Street will obviously continue through. That doesn't affect Taylor Road. And so.
And that main street would get to the Night Green
Yes. Yep.
further west.
Yep. Highland Boulevard and Main Street will both have a connection to Night Green.
See where it is.
So is it?
This is the high boulevard, and then this is the- I'm just looking at the UDOT connectivity study that we have for Tula County that I just have saved on my laptop.
No,
So
thank
you're
you.
right, this is the road that connects into Night Green. And it kind of circles around this way, and then Night Green kind of circles around.
Yep, correct.
Two belt routes.
Yep.
It would just be on our master transportation plan online.
Yeah.
You're fine.
This is actually the road that connects along the depot fence road and all the way to Sheep Lane, right? This particular
No,
road by
we're,
Taylor.
no,
Okay.
no, this is up on by Matt Canyon Road, so
Okay.
this won't be near
I-
the depot road.
I understand that, but the connectivity plan shows a road that's in that vicinity, in that area that connects with Main Street. And then moves all the way along the depot fence road and all the way up and over, but
Correct.
that's just what,
Yeah.
that's just what it shows here.
Do you know if in the planning commission, if there was any concern regarding the lot size specifically?
There was discussion of why are we not keeping the lot sizes to meet the code? And it came down to, well, we're getting a full dedication width of the collector road that is being built out. And then the half width of Main Street, when these two roads are not required by his development. And if Derek has anything to add.
No, that's there. Just kind of tell us if we just went by the the lot sizes that needed, what would those road widths be for those roads? What's the max we can make the developer do, just so we know what the
So
trade-off is?
a 66-foot right of way with 32 feet of asphalt is the max that we could require for this development. So we're gaining, 30 feet on the west and then just shy of 66 feet on the south.
Times hundreds of feet.
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah, well, on one end.
Yeah.
1,000+ feet, I'm sure.
And I know we've hit on this before, but the open space is,
HOA maintained.
okay. And those will likely probably be natural gravity depressions that are in those areas, probably. Is there a canal that kind of runs? Is that?
So there is a drainage ditch that runs down there. They'll have a walking trail and, like some tot lots by it and it'll walk through. So right now we are just reviewing the final plan for phase 3, as that one was already in progress, meets the code. But will require a landscape plan and amenities.
I know the MDA is just a draft, but it does have Mayor Critchlow signing it. That'll all be updated correctly.
Correct. Yes.
I think it's what we agreed to. I don't have any other questions.
All right, if there's no other discussion, I need someone to make a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2026-52 approving the Sun Sage Terrace master development agreement and master lot layout for phases 3 through 6 located at approximately 1161 West Main Street in the R1-1-21 residential district.
We have a motion by Councilmember Dalton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Butler. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to item number 12, consideration of resolution 2026-51 approving a hold harmless and easement acknowledgement agreement for property located at 641 South Maxwell Drive.
Yeah, this came from Planning Commission. And now we are here at City Council to determine if City Council will make a consideration for a hold harmless agreement. In 2025, the building department identified a detached metal garage on lot 602 at Wells Crossing subdivision. I personally went out there and took pictures and didn't see any disturbance to the retention basin itself. It is built on easements. This was built without building permits or a site plan. And that's what's bringing us here today. We worked with the homeowner to get an engineer to, go out and determine that it's not affecting the freeboard or the pond storage of the property. So it's not built in the basin itself. It's just built on the easement. And then it's built on, I believe, the rear, the southern or eastern easement, which is the rear of their property. And if you scroll down, you can see some pictures that so here's a site plan if you'll scroll up just a little bit.
Sorry, it pops.
So in the blue is the actual basin itself, and then highlighted in the green is the easement. And then there is the approximate location of the shed. And then if you want to keep scrolling down. So you can see the
Sorry, I swear.
basin there itself. It's not affecting it to the point that they have enough room to be able to park their trailer there. And if you wanna. So again, they're not affecting the basin itself. If you wanna keep going. Keep going. So it's inletting and outletting as designed and is holding the same pond volume as designed. Keep going. You can just scroll through these. This is the picture of when it was constructed by the developer or the home builder. You scroll down just a little bit more. There you go. So. And then we do have the PDF from their engineer.
When was this home constructed?
Sorry,
Sorry, tough question.
I don't have my laptop.
What's the address again, Shelby?
641 South Maxwell Drive.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So the retention basin, is it just for the property?
Yes.
2024.
And they sit in an R121 zone, or is this an acre?
So it's an R121 zone, but with Wells Crossing in their development agreement, they are allowed smaller lots.
This is a 0.5.
Yeah.
Okay, at least a half acre lot. How far are they encroaching on the easement? It looks like.
Will you go back to that other picture? There you go. Yeah, and zoom in to the top.
Talking 2 feet on the right side, which assuming is the west side, maybe, south side, maybe,
Yeah, so
and then 5 feet on the other side.
But it's not affecting in any way the volume that the pond can hold.
and they had an engineer actually go out and give us a document, and then we had Barry, the city engineer, review that and determine that it was not affecting the volume.
So this is a good thing, right? The hold harmless protects the city. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, and it looks like the homeowner's done everything we've asked him to do.
Correct.
Other than pull a permit.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Other than what did you say?
Pull a permit to build the building.
Oh, yeah. In the first place. Well, it also says, right now he's not encroaching, but if something happens, like we reserve the right to go back in. That's what it says in here.
Tyson.
At least that's what I read. If it does eventually somehow.
So with respect to the public utility easements, if there is a need to go in and move something, then those public utilities will do that, of which Grantsville City is one of the public utilities. So that'll be at the homeowner's expense. These hold harmless agreements are helpful in these circumstances because it does protect the city. It puts the onus on the encroacher into the drainage area. This one is a low risk encroachment based on the engineering reports that have said that, this is not into the retention area. It's sort of up on the bank of the area. But as far as like a city policy for this type of thing, the hold harmless agreement protects the city if there were to be a more substantial encroachment. That doesn't necessarily mean we would always allow that with the hold harmless agreement, but if it is a circumstance where we will allow it, the hold harmless agreement could accompany that approval just for further protection for the city if somehow those water flows changed and there was some damage to a neighboring property because of it.
Do we know if the home builder built this himself or did they have a builder do it? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I mean, looking at it, it was
Well, I
pretty
just asked
nicely
that
built.
because I just know from when I was on planning commission, we got quite a few of these, like once every other meeting or so, so I'm just trying to think like, and it goes back to McMichael, like, how do we educate it so then these don't come in front of us all the time, like.
I thought it was you.
We send a mass email to the builders or what? I mean, it's just, how do we prevent this from happening?
It's no different than the curb cut we had a few weeks there.
Yeah, that's what I said on McMichael, yeah.
Shouldn't have done that. Contractor. Okay. Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-51 approving the hold harmless and easement acknowledgement agreement for property located at 641 South Maxwell Drive.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 13, consideration of resolution 2026-55 approving the Falcons Landing Master Development Agreement for property located approximately at Booth Street and Wild Rose Drive.
Okay. So staff brought this to Planning Commission right there. Click on that one. Earlier this year to discuss the extension of Wild Rose Drive. And I am just showing you the initial plat that was approved. And you'll see lots like 11A and 11B, and any lot that is named, A and B are actually an attached duplex. And so there, I believe ends up being 29 units that could be placed on here. You can see the lots are right around 6,700 square feet with these attached units. And then if you scroll, click on your little side.
So together they're like close to 13,000 square feet.
Correct. So initially they were 12,000 square feet, but because R112 allows for attached duplexes, then in our code, it says, you have to add an additional 1,000 square feet and then you can cut that lot in half, which reduces it down to 6,000 square feet. And then you have a zero lot line where those homes are attached. Will you click on that plat? Yep. And so what was done here is Wild Rose is now extended through so it can continue instead of dead ending at Booth Street. And we have turned those lots, the 11A and the 11B or the A and B lots into single family detached homes. So you can see like lot 11 and 12 are 7,000 square feet versus the 6,700 square feet they initially were with attached single family homes versus detached single family homes. Now to address the setbacks, yes, this development was vested with 7.5 side yard setbacks because our code used to say 7.5/15, but because it was ambiguous, that meant we had to go in favor of the applicant. And so they were able to get the 7.5 and 7.5 on each side.
Which we've remedied and fixed.
Correct.
In the past year.
Yes. Now it is 7.5 on one side and 15.5 on the other side.
One way or the other.
Shelby, there's a lot of questions on this retention basin.
Yes.
We had questions on depth, on where the fence is going. Can you address all that?
Correct. So the fence would obviously be on the property line. So it would go from lot 16 around to lot 9 down to lot 6. So north down to the west side. And then it would go around lot 5 all the way to lot 1. Because of like site triangle issues and things like that, lot 28 and 17 wouldn't have one because they do have a double front yard. And so there would be issues with those two intersections. I did a little bit of research while we were waiting Sorry, I've got to use my phone. So the basin or the retention basin above lot 16 through 9 is 4 feet deep in total and 30 feet wide.
And is it part of the lot, so the homeowner takes control of it, or is it a separate retention basin?
No, it's part of the lots. So you'll see lots 17, 28, 24, 21. The middle section has lot retention basins. And then the northern lots will have their own retention basins as well. So initially, lots 9 and 10 were combined and there was just one large retention basin approximately where lot 10 is.
Right.
And so we've, instead of having one giant deep hole, we've reduced how deep it is so it can still be utilized and place it on the back of the lots.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, it doesn't look like, what are the required setbacks for these homes from the front yard setbacks? What for this particular zoning?
Will you pull to the side?
Sorry, which one?
Will you pan to the, just to the side?
Just to.
Yep.
You just X out of pages up there.
Whoops. Guys, I swear I know how to work the computer.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have the front yard setbacks at 25 feet. The 30-foot triangle shall remain. And then in the rear yard, we've actually extended the rear yard on those northern lots and the middle lots because we didn't want them. What it ends up doing is putting them right on that 33 feet setback line. And so we actually had them come in an additional 5 feet and have shrunk that up so that they can't build right on top of the
Retention
basin.
basin.
Yes,
Or else we're gonna have them sign a hold harmless
correct.
agreement, the entire MDA.
Correct.
Because I'm struggling with the fact that we're gonna have a 25-foot setback and, I mean, lot 16 says 46 feet. 0.05, so 46 feet, plus we have the curve there, so I'm assuming it's 50 feet. So really the depth of the home is only gonna be 20 feet deep?
So it's actually 94 feet in length, in total length.
In total length, yes.
Correct.
But where's the home gonna sit there? It's gonna sit 25 feet back, right?
Yep.
And then the depth of the home can't be any further than the line of the retention basin. You said 5
Correct.
feet to the
In.
side.
So yes.
How deep is this house gonna be on lot 16?
They'll be skinnier homes, but they can only be a max of 35 feet tall per our code.
Yeah, well, that's.
So I think to answer your question, you're looking at a 95-foot deep lot. You subtract out 25 feet for the frontage, front setback, which is 70, and then 40 for the back. So that leaves you 30 feet.
Yeah, 34 feet.
Depth for the home.
So if you want an affordable home, this may be the place. Because you're gonna be constrained by the lot dimensions and the retention pond about how big of a home you can build. But you're also looking at, is that 80 feet wide?
Yes.
So that's about a 2,000 square foot footprint. It's just an odd configuration. Right?
It's long and narrow.
Long and narrow.
Well, for 16, if you go to lot 14 or 15 or the others there, it's.
Yeah, so you're only looking
Yeah.
at like 60 feet on those lots. So it's 30 feet by 60, which is 1,800 square feet.
And then.
On per level, and then you've got a garage that you'd subtract out a garage and then, but you can go down in a basement and up to a second floor, which would be a substantial sized home.
Well, the other thing is, they're gonna have to understand, or we're gonna be back to the previous discussion item, is that nothing can be built in that retention basin, so they're gonna have very limited access to use their available acreage.
Correct.
That's
For 20 years, I had this in my backyard and we just had we built a 4-foot rock wall and then we grassed the retention basin, so we had it there, so we had grass in our trampoline and we do a backflip off the rocks onto the onto the swing set.
When it's water, you get playing.
But I maintained that, I mean, I mowed that, it looked nice, it was.
That's Chuck Williams.
Yeah, it can be done really nice. I want to say though, we have changed the ordinance and to not allow for this kind of thing anymore. You have to have, if you're going to have a detention pond, it can't be in people's backyards like this anymore, or those little weird
You
triangle
put a basement in
pieces.
there and put a retention pond in there and you get a major water event, you're gonna have.
It's a
water in
big
your
swimming pool
basement.
and where it crosses lot lines there, that's what the real problem is.
Right.
You know,
Not
lot
capturing
15
it
may
on your
decide,
piece of
let's
property.
fill this sucker in, and then lot 16 gets backed up and the water has nowhere to go. So that's problematic. And there's a whole host of problems associated with having these backyard retention ponds. Like many things associated with this plat, we're not doing them anymore. But we're just trying to get through this the best we can. This feels like a good solution.
And why we're saying this is because it's grandfathered in, is that why?
It is, yes. They had an application before the ordinances were changed.
The correct term, the correct legal term is vested. They're vested under the previous ordinances.
There was a term grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Earlier during public comment.
So just for Mr. Boyer's sake, planning and zoning recommended a 6-foot white vinyl fence around this project.
Correct.
That white vinyl fence is going down the property line, down right there, down Mr. Boyer's property,
Correct, so if you drag down, Alicia, other way,
other way.
That's up.
it'll come right along this property line. So it won't be on Boyer's, it'll be on this property, running right along that black line.
A 6-foot
and it
white
is-
vinyl fence.
It is a requirement by state that the water gathered on this property stays on this property. It cannot.
Or discharge into an approved drainage system.
Correct.
Yeah.
It cannot push to Boyers.
But there isn't any discharged approved drainage system anywhere near here.
Or anywhere else in town, really. There's some
Yeah.
places, I guess, but this would definitely, and so we do on-site retention. There's a difference between the retention and detention. And the detention is a pass-through and the retention is hold it on site and let it go into the ground.
And that's what this is. The water's not supposed to drain anywhere.
Anywhere else.
It's
Now,
supposed-
it
it's
will,
supposed
but
to
what
stay
happens
there.
is it goes into the ground, it becomes groundwater and it resurfaces it over at Shelby's house.
Hopefully it would resurface towards the Salt Lake more, so.
Yeah, well, I use Shelby's house because I'm just joking, picking
I-
on Shelby a little bit, but
We drink it
yeah, you do drink it.
So
later.
Shelby, is our plan for Wild Rose to just go to a race street and stop, or was that on the plan to go
It's,
further? Cause I'm looking at homes here and it's gotta do a lot of jotting around some stuff unless
correct,
we
so
do something.
we would like to get it at minimum to Race Street, but there is potential to connect it into North Street. That would require city purchasing, land and homes. But again, that is the long future and it's not going to happen tomorrow.
And then my other question that was brought up at planning commission too, was they are asking for the open space, their fee in lieu waived.
Yes.
Just so everyone that wasn't there, how much was that and what's the reasoning? I know it was brought up at planning commission, but just kind of to let everybody know why they want that and why we think that we should approve that.
Correct. So I don't have the appraisal amount because that doesn't come now. I should have obtained that. But if I had to anticipate or guess, I would guess right around $5,000 to $8,000 would be the fee in lieu that would be given to the city. The issue is that needs to be used within 1 mile. And I mean, there might be one park that it could be used towards.
One property that is within a mile of that is right by Solberg's. If we ever to ever use that for anything.
What about the
rodeo grounds?
It's not considered a park.
What about the,
I'm thinking of the pirate one, the Bevins.
Yeah.
with the park off? No,
Yeah.
it's probably too far away. The park
Is the
that's off
Scott
Main,
Bevan Park too far?
I think Bevins
That's the one I was thinking of.
is close.
So this agreement though says the project shall contain no less than 20% open space. So where have we amended that to remove the open space?
G1 in the development agreement. I'll go back. You're missing a page. In the back of the development agreement, it does state the waiver of the open space. Yeah, on exhibit G, which is page 22. So it talks about the fence. And then number 6 is the waiver of the fee and lieu.
And just so we know that Scott Bevan Memorial Park it's 0.6 miles away from this property.
Thank you. I was trying to measure on my phone.
Yeah.
There's definitely things we can do there.
There are a lot of things
Absolutely.
we could do there.
I think we allow that.
Yeah. I support that.
Is the developer here tonight?
He was notified to see online. Who's the developer?
Just curious.
Who is it? Oh, the KG Andy. He's online.
Okay.
Andy, can you hear us? Andy, can you hear us?
So while we're waiting for that, citizen, Mr. Wayne Boyer got up, he talked about the retention basin. I think we understand what that looks like and the depth of it. I think we understand the privacy fence, 6 feet along the property line, going along there. I mean, he has livestock was his concern, and how will it affect his livestock? I think a thought of his is maybe the depth of the retention basin might harm his livestock, but if the fence is in place, then, and I guess, I mean, constructability and when's the timing of the fence and the timing of the digging of the depth of the retention basin and how that all happens to be able to protect potentially the neighboring, the neighboring property owner and his livestock. I mean, I don't know, maybe we could give some direction there.
Yeah, I don't
Make
know
sure
if the 6-foot vinyl fence is necessarily an appropriate.
Deterrent? For
Yeah,
cows?
for cows. I just
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
I
they're
mean,
gonna be a
but-
little more destructive.
Well, but
So
But
there's
is it
currently a barbed wire fence that runs the property, right?
So just put
Does
it-
this allow the
assuming.
homeowner to rip out the barbed wire fence and replace it with a white vinyl, or does the barbed wire fence stay and the white vinyl go against the wall?
It would depend on, as long as it's on Mr. Boyer's property, then the vinyl fence, or then the barbed wire fence could stay.
Which would be protect the white vinyl. Yep. Be a good thing.
Correct. So I mean, we could ask the developer to construct a new barbed wire fence along the northern portion if needed, and then place the vinyl fence.
It's kind of a property owner to property owner conversation.
One thing too, I think property owners are getting concerned about, we discussed this last week in planning commission, and we'll probably see it here shortly, is people have their livestock, and Tyson, I think, covered it too, but they're building these homes, people have had livestock in there forever. We have ordinances that say you can't have animals within 100 foot of an existing structure. How does the grandfather work? I know we all went over that, so we kind of understand it, but people are concerned about that. They're questioning, what are their rights with their animals when these different type of developments start coming in.
There's a old part of Logan that has a farm right in the center of town, and he's got a sign up that says, "My cows smell and they make noises, and I've been here since the beginning of time and I'm staying here." So I think that's a valid question. They have the right to, they've been there first. There's some reasoning behind that, so.
Can you recap at Tyson what you told them or?
Sure.
teaches?
So under our code, we've got specifically excluded from our definition of a nuisance, any agricultural production activities, which would include maintaining and keeping livestock, animal husbandry that's of traditional sense, so long as it's done in accordance with the acceptable practices in that industry. So if they're, if someone is maintaining a nuisance by keeping a mud hole full of manure that's, flies are everywhere, and there's, they're doing it outside the normal practices of that livestock industry, then that could be a nuisance. But the default setting for people that have livestock is that it is not a nuisance. And so if someone were to move in and say, look, I'm from San Francisco and we don't have these smells and odors, well, too bad, right? This is Grantsville and we have those here.
Okay. When you bought the lot, the smells were there.
We do put a note on the plat that gives the surrounding property owners the right to farm and keep the animals on there, so.
Let's just address the other comment by
Mr. Averett.
citizen, yeah, Mr. Averett. I mean, the lot sizes are as such, RM7 code does allow for height. I understand blocking views. No one likes that. But the property owner does have rights as well, right? I understand that we're trying to balance that to a certain extent, but we do still have our codes. They can build up, they can build vertical. And obviously we've discussed the fact that the 7.5 feet on both sides, why we don't like it, our hands are somewhat tied because they've already applied for it. Have we fixed that within the last year? Yes, we have. But I just don't know if we can require that of this developer at this time, so.
Could we require it on lots 1 through 5 where there are existing residential neighbors?
Require what?
The 7.5 on one side and 15 on the other, just to give that break in the.
The little wider stance?
Yes.
You could request it.
We could request it. Yeah, I don't know.
Those are wider
Tyson?
lots anyway, so
What's
it would
that?
make sense there in that particular place.
Absent some exception, the vesting occurs at the time of the application. So if we were going to make a change at this point, it would have to be something that meets one of the exceptions, which is a prevailing public health interest or something like that.
Detrimental effect?
That, yes, well, yeah, even more than a detrimental effect, it would have to be more like a countervailing public safety interest. There are reasons why we could require it. Probably none of those exist here. It would have to be a favor that's asked.
It can't hurt to ask though, right?
Or being asked to waive too, which. Or being asked to waive the fee in lieu as well, correct? Is that?
I don't see why we're doing that.
Yeah, I guess not necessarily a favor, but it would have to be a voluntary exchange for either kindness or consideration.
Yep.
Would you like me to call Andy?
It'd be nice to do, sir.
I think it sounds like the main concern is the fee in lieu. I mean, everything else is really, we don't really have choice with the vesting. But I think we, well, like most of us agree that the fee in lieu is probably not worth it if we have to park things.
See what benefit everyone else follows is that, and see what benefit we're getting from that.
Yeah.
In this situation at all.
Shelby, this has been surveyed a bunch of times. You may not know the answer to this, but my experience spending my life on the north side of Grantsville, as all the property lines are off by 10 to 15 feet. Is this property line on?
I'm not a surveyor, so I mean, I'm just going off of what the plat is showing, and it's showing that they are. But
I agree with Jeff, though. I know there have been historically some issues with property lines, and so when this is surveyed, if the property line does become a dispute, at what point was it grandfathered in that this was? I have no idea. I'm asking. I don't know. What would happen when these homes don't fit because the property lines are not correct?
So
It goes back to how long the fence has been there, right?
Right, so I mean, there's several reasons why property line could change. And sometimes there's the property line is what it is, but other times there's adverse possession that could occur. Where if someone were to openly and notoriously take some extra land and it's been held for a number of years, I'd have to refresh my research on the number of years, but if it's been held in such a manner and then adverse possession could change that property line. That's not something that the city gets to decide has occurred. That's something that a court decides has occurred if it gets to that point. But these are basic legal principles that tend to will resolve cases before a court has to. So there'd be some sort of stipulation at some point, I would guess, by way of settlement. But either way, it would likely halt much of the ability to develop while that's being resolved.
At least those lots there back then.
Yeah.
As far as we know, this goes to the existing fence.
yes. I believe if Alicia scrolls up, it'll state existing fence. No, it just says it on the site plan where the existing fence is. But on the bottom, or at the top, you can see by 10, it says found bar and cap. And then by 1, it says found bar and cap. So I mean, they're going off of existing survey markers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I'm not a big fan of lot 5. But, I mean, I don't know, as a homeowner, how much value that additional, I don't know, 120 feet of space is by 25 foot deep, 26 feet deep.
It's not our favorite either. It's just an awkward.
I understand, I just, it's just. Guess if these were townhomes, we could ask them to potentially put like a parking lot there or something. We've done that in the past. But then the lot 5 wouldn't meet the minimum requirements. It'd be way less than 7,000 square feet, I imagine. So it's meeting the minimum requirements, but the buildability of it is questionable.
There's no other concerns, questions, comments. We need a motion.
If we don't agree with the fee in lieu, then we just have to deny the whole resolution. Right? If we don't, that's how it's written. Am I correct?
No, you can make a recommendation to remove the waiver of the fee in lieu.
So we can do it without, I mean, because that's my big concern. I feel like we can do it that way, then I'm okay. So Mayor, I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-55, approving the Falcons Landing Master Development Agreement for the property located approximately at Booth Street and Wild Rose, with the recommendation that the fee in lieu is removed and they have to pay.
We have a motion by Councilmember Skinner. Is there a second?
I'd still like to make the request that one side of each one of lot 1, 2, 3, and 4 be 15 feet on one side of the property line.
I agree. How do we, I'm not sure how we
So I
can.
think it's something we could ask and address in the DRC reviews, but from what Tyson was stating, it's not something we can require.
It's a request, not,
Yeah.
be a
Yeah, it's if they
request.
stipulate to it. So I guess we could not approve it today and then ask. I don't know.
Those are wider lots.
We have to do something with it.
What's that?
So we have to do something with it. We got
We can
one
table
way.
it.
Yeah. We could table it and have, could we table it and somebody could go ask them, like, hey, will you stipulate to?
Yeah, I
change
mean,
those lots?
he texted me and he says he's speaking, but it's not coming through.
He's unmuted on our end, so I don't know. Can he call in?
Yeah,
Or can he
that's-
like disconnect and reconnect back in?
I told him to call me. There he is.
Yeah, waiving the fee and lose a no for me. So
Okay, hold on,
it'd be
hold
a
on.
rejection in that situation. So
I'm getting feedback when Jake talks. Can you just kick him off the meeting?
Kick Andy off.
Andy, can you get off the meeting? And then I can just put you on speakerphone. Okay,
I don't know why you can't hear me on the computer, but you can hear my phone. That's weird.
yeah. Okay, so I have you on speakerphone at city council and they are requesting, I'm not sure if you heard, but on lots 1 through 4 or 5?
Well,
4.
five doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's so narrow anyways, right?
Yeah, okay, so lots 1 through 4 to have 7.5 feet on the side yard on one side and 15 feet on the side yard on the opposite side.
Yeah, as long as it maps out. We did that after we spoke with you last time on the properties on the north side already to split it up more evenly. And the fact that lot 1 has that, I was looking at it as I was saying that, the fact that lot 1 has that 10,000 square foot size, so we can shrink into that one to pull the other ones over. I think we can absolutely do that.
Okay,
Could we make it from lot 1 to 5 and make lot 5 a little bit wider? I mean, I think now that he's saying that, and he's saying he's gonna move those lot lines and shift them over, I think he's got enough room to be able to do it at least 15 feet, which would give a 22.5 foot width between homes 1 through 5 on one side.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? I think that makes it more in line with our code. It helps the neighbors, so that their homes aren't so crammed together. And I think it's a reasonable ask.
Sure, I think that's fair. That's reasonable.
Okay, put it in the MDA.
So can Brittany just add that then to her motion?
I don't know all the numbers, so maybe somebody else should, because I don't know what we just said.
No, but just amend your motion that lots 1 through 5, that one side of each one of those lots has a 15-foot
Setback.
side yard setback, making the total side yard from easement to easement 22.5 feet in between structures, which is as per our code currently.
Yeah.
Right, Tyson? Yeah. You can handle that, can't you?
You just say I amend my motion to meet what Rhett just said.
Yeah. I'll just amend my motion to also include what Red just said as far as the setbacks.
Okay, we have an amended
So the
motion.
2 parts of the motion
The two
are,
parts. Yeah, so we have recommendations that there's no fee in lieu, that it's a regular impact fee, and that the setbacks are as described by Red.
So to clarify, the fee in lieu is not an impact fee. He'll already pay the impact
sorry,
fee.
yeah.
It is a separate,
Yeah,
it's
so but
open
we
space.
rejected, we're recommending, no, we don't approve the fee in lieu.
we're not
The
waiving,
waiver.
we're not
We're not
waiving.
We're not waiving.
Okay, we're not waiving the
Yes.
Alicia, do you have that?
Did you get it?
I will definitely need to listen to the recording, but sure.
So we have an amended motion by Councilmember Skinner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilmember Dalton. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Right.
Item number 14, consideration of resolution 2026-54, awarding the contract for the Apple Street Water Line Replacement Project to Forge Industrial.
This was a CBDG grant. We do have to go with the lowest bidder. The lowest bidder was Forge at $273,853.10. And we need council approval, and then we'll go forward with pre-construction and contracts.
Because this was that type of grant, a CDBG grant,
Mhm.
there was no pre-qualification process for this project, right?
Correct.
Just open to any bidder.
Correct.
So have we ever had this particular company, Forge Industrial, do any work for us?
No, nope, but they had to be vetted by the CBDG grant committee as well. And they have done a similar project in Ogden.
And Ogden was happy with the work that was done, or you don't know
I don't
that?
know.
But they've done a similar project.
Yes, so they will have to deal with the Bacon Davis wages and the Babin.
Yeah. Obviously, this project needs to be done.
Yes, with more coming,
Well, I'm
so.
sure. I'm sure.
Is there an estimated timeline as to when they would be able to begin the project?
As soon as we can get a contract in place and they can get the bond to us. Well,
So will they hope to start this?
they wanted to
Uh,
start before you approved. They're ready to start,
Okay.
but we
Let's
won't
get
let them
the show
start
on the road.
until we can get everything in line.
So they will have to provide a performance and payment bond.
Mhm.
What parts of Apple Street is this for?
Only
Or-
between Hell and Park Street.
Okay.
Any other questions? Rhett has something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I just thought about school.
I'm worried about school.
Yep, so are they, and we are asking them to start in the intersection. So they're aware.
Cause that's a hot street to go
Mhm.
pick up your kids. Now, my
Yeah.
kids don't go to that school anymore. They're graduating junior high, so I'm just teasing. But that's where we pick up the girls.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
Pick up too.
For the last 150 years.
Yeah. I'm
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Now you're showing your age.
Maybe
And
that's
how many
why the
kids you
water
got.
line's going bad, huh?
That's right.
Can we make it historic?
Yeah.
No, this is.
Before the fire, we could have, but
This is part of the end. All right, Mayor, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2026-54, awarding the contract for the Apple Street water line replacement to Forge Industrial.
We have a motion by Councilmember Butler. Is there a second?
I second. Oh, go ahead.
Second by Councilmember Skinner. All in favor?
Aye.
So Christy, just tell me, where are they going to start the project to avoid as much?
well, they will
school
start
traffic?
at the intersection because we are going through the intersection at Park and Apple Street.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
so through the crosswalk
Mhm.
to the south side of the school.
And they are not going to be started before school is in a month. They're not going to be underway, likely.
They might be able to get through that intersection, maybe.
We will do our best to get them out here as fast as we can.
Gonna be a
Tyson.
nightmare. Okay. All right, thank you.
Priority on the contract.
Agenda item number 15, consideration of ordinance 2026-26, approving amendments to chapter 7-3 of the Grantsville City Code regarding definitions and regulations for cross connections and dual source connections.
So this wording was changed under the recommendation of the state to go from, the code used to say swing joint, and they want to change that to dual source. Dual source. That was the main change, and any of the other little language they asked us to change to be adopted into our code.
And this mainly is, I mean, obviously a definition, but the deeper part of this is really someone improperly connecting, if I remember right, city water to secondary water.
So anytime what we have is situations is people have their irrigation system and they want to use both culinary water and irrigation. So that when irrigation turns off or they've run out of gallons, they can go and use their culinary. So what you have to have is what we say a dual source connection, which means you have a physical disconnect. They can never be connected at the same time. So you have to disconnect from one, connect to the other, and then you do have to have an RP backflow preventer.
Or an air check.
No, not just an air check. Has to be a backflow preventer. And since irrigation is considered a hazard, it has to be, because of that potential, it has to be a RP, cannot be just the other AVB.
I see a need for this because we do have both. and-
Correct.
And, you know, going through that.
Yeah,
inspection
we have
process.
stopped one this year, in fact, where irrigation turned their water off until they could show that they had an RP.
I had one on my.
And they installed an
first house
RP.
Here in Grantsville. I had one on my first
And then
house
found out they don't have irrigation.
And never used the connection. I had
So,
to
yeah,
manual
yeah,
disconnect.
Good.
On the irrigation, on the city side, I had the air check. Is what was required then, when I.
Did it
that
then.
house was built almost 20 years ago. So. Okay.
But this is just housekeeping.
correct.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-26, approving the amendment to chapter 7-3 of the Grantsville City Code regarding definitions and regulations for cross connections and dual source connections.
We have a motion by Councilmember Butler. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Councilmember Thomas. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 16, council reports. Let's start with rep. We've gone over a lot of yours with the
Well,
historic district.
I mean, I think Alta took care of, you know, really what we've been working on as a historic preservation commission, and, you know, and appreciate her basically report, and I think we're excited to potentially create a historic district in Grantsville.
Yeah.
We're talking a
It'll be
lot
great.
about just that area, and I think it's important for us to designate that. It'll help some of those homeowners down the road to be able to do some of the restoration projects that they'd like to do.
Mhm.
It has hindered us in the past by not doing it, especially with the Grantsville First Ward. Home.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get those grants because it's not designated as a historic preservation district. So that home is now included in that potential area.
Okay,
Yeah, that's my report.
all right, great. Jake?
Veterans Park, I'll hit on that really quick. The first phase of that has been completed. And so you can walk that and see kind of what that entailed. You know, a lot of people have had eyes on it. The meeting that we had yesterday, regarding that. They've got they have the bronze monument that will go there. They have the first, miniaturized, I don't know the right word, small sample of that. We're gonna make a limited amount of those. And so, anyway, it sounds like they're gonna bring that to the city and have it here at the city hall so people can see.
Do you
I
know
released
by
a
chance
vast,
how much they were able to raise on the 4th of July for the Veterans Park?
We went through some of the finances. They had the cornhole portion. And I know, I want to say several thousand that was what was covered on that specifically.
Well, they
They've
had the
had some
raffle and, yeah.
raffle, and they had a larger donation. And so I know their treasurer was gonna meet and specifically go through all of that with our group. And see kind of where we sit, where we landed as far as the financing of the first phase and how that landed within budget.
This probably is a question you can't answer, but what is needed for phase 2?
So I think the next portion, or I think the next push, is to get to grass. So, get the irrigation system in, topsoil. There was a request for, as the city would be willing to some of that topsoil that was peeled out and been separated for the other park to see if they could utilize some of that and just get it to grass this year. If they could do that, then I think gets us a great surface that's irrigated, and then they can go into, landscaping and flagpoles and probably the more expensive portion, which is the statue. We've got some the preliminary costs on that, and he's maintained that he will keep that cost, but the statue itself is gonna be $200,000. So that cost, and then the granite costs for the walls is where, but they are seeing a lot of momentum, which is good as far as the bricks and people purchasing the bricks and then getting donations. I think it's good. They were very appreciative of the city, and made some comments regarding, and I'll let them bring those comments to the council and to the city. I don't want to spoil any thunder there, but they've been very appreciative in that setting, with what the city has done to get us to this point. And I think it's creating some momentum that's helping push it further along.
There's a
So,
pile of soil, whatever we want to classify that as, sitting in the middle of it. Is there, it was my understanding that maybe somebody had volunteered to come in and do that earthwork there to flatten that out. Do you know anything about that?
yeah, so I think the next phase would be getting the irrigation in.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that would be the second phase, because in the first phase, we didn't have funding for that. So based on some questions that I don't know, as far as if there were any change orders or how that allotted with the actual contract price. I have walked it. And I know Barry's been very connected with that, and communicating that back to the committee. And I know that's been very appreciated. At least that was mentioned. So yeah, getting to that next part, which I think is just getting the ground level and getting it in a situation where we could have a flag raising ceremony there, even if we didn't have some of those other components, and then focusing on what the next phase would be. So, which would be the last phase, which would be the most expensive portion. So, yeah, anyway. We did have a meeting with the school district regarding resolution on the park and getting a MOU in place with the school district. The desire is to get in a short-term agreement in place with the possibility of understanding what long-term solution we can have in place for that. There'll be more to come on that. And I'm happy to share what's been discussed there, but the desire is to work together to find a solution that works for the kids and that works better for the city. And then looking for whatever the long-term solution is going to be there. So I don't know if there's any more I need to report on that there specifically, but that's ongoing. And I think that's it for the items I had.
Okay, thank you. Derek.
I had a few things, but I left my notebook at home and I know we have a closed session after this, so I'll just wait for next week. But I do want to say the city did an amazing job for the 4th of July. Public Works did awesome, and Colton, was that who came and picked up our tin every night? What was awesome. So I want to I think Christy's gone, but thank them and Colton. And one suggestion that I had that might help with the Memorial Park, and I told a couple of you guys when I was cooking a hot dog next year or whatever, but I had a lot of people ask how much they were, or can we give a donation or do something, because they didn't want to just take a free hot dog. And I thought maybe we pick a cause or pick a something, and we can have a donation that, maybe they do. I don't know what the legality is on all that, but a lot of people were willing to help and wanted to do something for the community. So just an idea we might think about for next 4th of July.
Just make that an option for people to leave something if they wanted to.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
I don't have an update. We only have the Board of Health every other month, so our meeting's at the end of this month. So I will let you know next time.
I don't, and we had another mosquito abatement meeting last night. I've got all the stats of what they've done, and I mean, it's dry. We don't even talk about mosquitoes.
I haven't had a single
I know,
mosquito bite
it's
all year.
crazy. Yeah, when I bring it up, they trapped 2,000 mosquitoes down by the sewer plant. Just this month, and they do all kinds of tests on them. It's just crazy. 87 West Nile cases and none in 12 County. So that is a good thing.
Mosquitoes have been kind of like sparse this year.
Yeah.
Which is good,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been wet either, right?
Right. So I think makes it a lot easier when there's less water, right? So I mean, that's going fine. Irrigation meeting, they canceled their meeting at the first of the month, but we did have a meeting with them that I missed. Sorry, I missed that on Monday. So I don't have anything to report there.
All right, thank you.
Could I just make one other comment
Please.
just about the 4th of July? And it's, an article that I read just about Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County, and I just parlay it to our town. I was really impressed with our citizens and their adherence to our request to not let off fireworks. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I mean,
I was extremely impressed by
shocked,
that as well.
actually.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty proud of our citizens for, adhering to that. So, did you have any calls? Or
About a
very-
dozen.
About a dozen?
Which is very minimal.
But did you write any citations?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, it was impressive. I
It
thought
was.
so too. Nobody wanted to have to take that away, but it was the right thing for this year, and appreciate
Well,
people.
we had a dozen. Salt Lake City only had one call. I read an article.
Really?
From the Salt Lake City Police Department. They had one call, and I might have heard a few light off just right after ours, but it was minimal compared to what it is normally during a year. So.
Yep.
I remembered one other thing, I'm sorry.
No, please.
At some point, we need to circle back to the Clark Farm and property, our property behind the Clark Farm is to, we still have the 4-H FFA kids wanting to build some type of agriculture facility there. And really are wanting some type of direction from us, if that's a go or no go or a possibility. And I realize we're kind of missing the pretty picture phase. But I mean, I don't even know at this point, we're pretty distorted. Are we just keeping the views open and
I talked with them this week
Okay.
and I said, what I would really like from you is draw me a picture of what this is the FFA group. Kind of put me together a little map of what you see. And then I feel like the Clark Farm should do the same thing. And they both may need to give just a little bit in order to be, make both entities have a successful
Something.
vision of what that area could look like, but that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I just feel that too. We need
Yeah.
some type of presentation of the pretty picture, or what could be, or what, I mean, I think it can all work, but we're just spinning.
I think that they are both, if I'm understanding this right, they both have ideas and they're not necessarily communicating them to each other or worrying too much about the little details. Whereas if they would both just get us and the city at some point just has to make a decision and say, this is what we're doing. And this is where we want to move forward. And these are the options that you will have to do. So I'm waiting for them to bring those back to me. So hopefully they do that sooner than later.
I know on Wednesdays now they have the farmers market. And the people have been encouraged. That area kind of is starting to get that, it has that natural feel from what it is, but also like, I thought that was that would be a great addition to what happens at that, having farmers market over there every Wednesday. I know we've been encouraged to go check it out. It's gaining a little bit of momentum from what I hear. Obviously it was a hard year for farmers.
Yeah.
For all the right, reasons, especially growers and just the freezes that we had that killed peaches and everything, cherries and everything else. So, but encourage people to go to that. I think that's an extension of what's happening down there, and
I mean, we've
could
got,
incorporate into that
we've got to
what it is.
protect the city and be able to expand the cemetery if we ever need to. I mean, I love the area to walk through. I mean, this is my area, but I think it all could be done. I just don't know how to get it all done. So.
Right. We need a vision.
We need a vision.
a plan and a vision.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Jeff for bringing that up. Again, thank you to everybody for the 4th of July, police, fire, public works, all city staff, city council. I hope you've all recovered and have not had a single hot dog since.
It was fun. It was my first time. It was fun. And Heidi did amazing work. The mayor was at every place I was, she was, and I wasn't even at that many places. So, and I saw her doing the
It was a long
flags
week.
and
Yes. But it was great. And I've had so many positive comments come back to the city. Thankful for all the efforts that go into the 4th of July, and people do notice it and they appreciate it. So thank you to everybody in this room for making that successful. The Girls Summit, reminding you of that on August 3rd. So keep that in your thoughts about attending.
Will we have more than 3 at that? Do we need to notice for that? Okay.
Yes.
And I think the RSVP deadline's tomorrow.
I've told
I have
them
the 16th. At
that-
least that's what they said.
Jeff, you said you were unable to come. Yeah, everybody else is still planning to attend.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the information I gave them. So, the question we had, the very first speaker of our public comment about the internet on Vegas Street. Is there any city staff that can?
Yeah, we're already working through options for that kind of stuff, and I'll take that on.
Okay. All right. I can't handle much more of the beeping, so we're gonna wrap this up. So.
I can't even hear it anymore.
It's like throbbing in my head.
Thank you to all the city staff that's been here today for all of your help. We do appreciate you. So thank you so much. And with that, I need someone to make a motion to go into a closed session.
Make a motion, we go into closed session.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor.
Aye.
We already lost.
You already locked it?
We did. Thank you.